parlay on, check, compare. If you use multiple books, it's probably a site you should be using regularly. You can click your parlays up really quick and just see where you'll get the best line. That's where we're at for those lines.
Thank you for that, Joe. Yeah, very good site for particularly for setting up parlays, man. I think it's only a matter of time before it takes over the betting industry as far as using like a resource site, man. I think it's gonna be pretty solid. But D, I saw you requested the mic. What'd you get on this fight?
What's up, everybody? I saw the not the press the weigh-ins, and man, I didn't just say that like it's something about Leon that just like, ooh, that's interesting. I mean, like, quiet dude, yeah, but he like I think I said this in this chat. He looks like a deer in headlights, man. Like something's going on. He probably got really triggered from that comment. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, he does look really triggered.
Oh, you're talking about the ceremonial weigh-ins?
Yeah, like after when
Gotcha.
Joe was interviewing him, bro was like stuttering and like he was like out, like not there, and I'm like, oh, not a good sign.
He kind of does that a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Anyway,
Connor.
it's Colby though.
Go ahead, D. Sorry about that. Connor, I see you throwing some thumb downs on there. You wanna come up and throw up your argument for this? Are you good? All right, we'll move
Trace,
on
are you
if he wants
actually
to.
betting
Your question.
Boudet? Trace, are you actually betting Boudet or no?
No, like I said, for me, I don't have any action in this fight. I don't tend to like to bet on the lower level of the heavyweight division, just
Listen,
because I like. Go ahead.
I just want to remind you, he's undefeated in the UFC, bro. Boudet is bro. He's on a nice little run right now. It's submission, decision, KO. But bro, he's one of them guys. I'm not saying he's high level. I just feel like he's very slept on as a fighter, bro. I feel like he's very slept on as a fighter because he's big and low level heavyweight don't get the attention and all that. But man, I think he's a good fighter. Like I'm not trying to build him up to John Jones' kitchen. I just think like when you're looking at the lower half, Boudet he's a real fighter, man.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit there at the end, but no, I think it's like I said, it's round one for me, or for me it's round one. Oh crud, I'm blanking. Not Budai. One round one Gaziev, and then Boudet probably takes over the fight if he survives the first round. Um, like I told y'all before, I'm one of the guys that, especially whenever it's a low level fight or just not the most skilled guys, I tend to lean the guy with the better cardio. So, like I said, we know Budai can go 3 rounds. We know that he can maintain the same pace for 3 rounds. Um, I might throw him in a parlay because honestly, at minus 190 or whatever, it's minus 160. That's a good parlay piece. Like I said, uh, you don't tend to see guys getting starched too early in the first rounds, like especially in the heavyweight division anymore. It's usually round one or it goes to decision, and we know that Budai is tough. But my only thing with him is that he mostly big dogs the guys he's fighting because he's a lot bigger than them. But I don't know that he's necessarily stronger than Gaziev. So I do think it's just whether Gaziev can put it together in that first round or can Budai just survive. And I'll take my chances on Budai surviving. But
Where do
yeah,
you
I might throw him in the parlay.
where do you play where do you bet? DraftKings?
I use Bet Online for my early bets and get like the early props. But yeah, I use like DraftKings and FanDuel. I like FanDuel because you can do you can parlay the rounds, so to speak. They have the special props where you can do like round 2 and 3 KO, round 1 and 2, and get them at decent lines. Man, I've made a lot of killing on my bets doing like that using that parlay. So, but yeah, DraftKings and FanDuel are where most of my money goes.
I got you. You can get a minus 120 at DraftKings, which is one of the best lines you can
Joe,
get
you got
on there
bad
right
service
now.
right now, brother. You're kind of breaking in and out. Connor, I called you up earlier. Did you have you had something you want to say on that matter?
Yeah, you got me?
You got a lot of background noise.
I'm at work right now. I'll chop it up later when I'm on break.
All right, brother, no problem.
Oh, I could hear you, Connor.
All right, Vinny, what you got, brother?
Sorry, guys. How's everybody doing today? Just wanted to say I don't know anything about that other guy, but I like Boudet on this. I think Boudet is a more experienced fighter on this. The other guy seems to be like a no-namer. I don't know. You guys don't know anything about him? I don't know. I'm looking for feedback on him.
Jimmy Gaziev, he's coming off his contender series win. He won in round one on the contender series. Got his contract via stoppage 2 minutes in. Mostly, like I said, I think the biggest question is the cardio. What did he just come in and try to overwhelm the guy and kind of overdid it, or does he really just have round one cardio and that's it?
So you think Boudet is definitely the player? Yeah, I got you on this contender series. It's a miracle that they didn't put him as a favorite.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's questions about him. So I mean, I don't know what the lines opened up at, but I think I'm pretty sure Usman said none of the lines flipped this week. So everybody that opened as a favorite stayed a favorite. So I guess
Yeah,
Cade, what do you got?
this
Go ahead, sorry, Benny.
this card is gonna be awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it's a solid card, man. Even the prelims and all the under fights are pretty solid. Just don't love some of them from a betting standpoint, but maybe you have a different view on them. So maybe you found some better lines on some better stuff that you like. But Kate, what do you got, man?
Take Gazeev. That's what I'd bet on. I think that's the side. I think Boudet, his style is exactly plays into the style of Gazeev, and I think Gazeev's gonna knock him out. To be honest.
Yeah, like I said,
Boudet?
Yep, he's going down, Joe.
Well, I'm sorry for that parlay's loss, Kate.
Oh no, that's a straight bet. We ain't parlaying that shit.
Yeah, good man.
yeah, but like I said, I do think it's round one or it's probably Boudet's fight. So if you took the round one or inside the distance, I think that's the only way you can play
Here's the
Giza.
way to play the fight. Trace is onto something. You either do a same game parlay and do Gazeev in under 1.5, or you do Boudet and over 1.5. Choose your fucking poison.
This thing's a very fair way to play it, actually. But we'll close that fight out and we'll move on to the next one. Like I said, guys, if y'all have a take and y'all want to talk them, get up here, man. Request a mic. Everybody's free to talk on these fights, man. As I read off the fight, if you want to open it, throw your hand up and I'll pass it off to you. I don't have to open every fight up. Honestly, I would appreciate the sharing of the work with you guys. But we'll all get takes in at some point. Next fight we have is Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. Andre Fili is 5'11 with a 74-inch reach versus Lucas Almeida, 5'11 with a 71-inch reach. So Andre Fili does have a 3-inch reach advantage. Anybody want to take this fight for me?
I'm transitioning back to my chair. So I'll start with Andre Fili is minus 172 globally. He gets as low as like minus 167 in the U.S. A little higher around the rest of the globe. Lucas Almeida plus 140. Best line you can find on Lucas is cool bet. So nothing around here. There's no domestic books for us that have any of the best lines on it. Click back over here. Andre is 5'11", 70. You already hit that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Trace?
I had to tell the tape already.
My
Yeah,
bad,
you
bro.
can
I just get going. So I like Andre Fili here. I think that he is the better striker. I'll be honest, man. I'm stretching. I don't think either one of these guys are that great, Trace. I don't think it's a fight you go out of your way to bet. I'm gonna skip it. I do like Feely. I do think he is the side. I know that it makes sense that Lucas Almeida is getting fed. I just think Feely pulls it off, but this fight's a total skip for me, man. And that's just honest as it can be. Cade, go ahead.
I think if you're gonna take a side in this fight, you actually like. I feel like you should just take the dog. But I honestly am with you. I'm gonna skip this fight. I do, however, think that it goes under 2.5 rounds. I think somebody gets knocked out. But it's not like to me. It's not like a. I feel like as if it's a fight that could go either way. So I'm not gonna touch that fight because I'm not gonna lie, I've been down the last two cards, and I ain't trying to lose three cards in a row.
That's fair. I think it's close on the feet, man. I think I would lean maybe Almeida a little bit just because he's more power on the feet. He has the higher chance of getting a finish on the feet due to the striking, I would say. But uh, Andre Fili has a clear path here in the wrestling, man. If he goes out and wrestles, but I feel like we've said that for a lot of fights. If he went out and just go out and wrestle the guy, because we do know he trains with Team Alpha Male. We do know he has some grappling. He's been there. He's probably the longest active member of Team Alpha Male outside of the coaches and stuff. But he's been there forever, so the grappling should be there. He should have some kind of chokes, solid chokes, as well as solid choke defense. Because that's what Team Alpha Male is known for, is the guillotine and the reverse wrestling, using chokes to get out of wrestling positions. But I don't know if I trust Philly to go out there and not get drawn into a striking battle, which is the problem. I know he likes it. He likes to bang on the feet, and he likes to be exciting. And he's been one of them guys. He's really just had a tough resume in the UFC. I mean, he's fought good guys throughout his career. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think he has the skills to beat the guy. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. I just don't know that he'll, like I said, resist the urge to be drawn into a firefight, which he could get caught in. So, give me Philly via decision. But like I said, it's not a super high confidence play, and I don't know that I'll bet it. But yeah, I feel like Philly should win this fight. And plus, man, he's got one of the sweetest nicknames in the game, Andre Touchy Philly. I love it, man. Daniel, you had your hand up. Go ahead, brother.
Uh, I did y'all know this fight was supposed to take place in February of this year, but it was canceled because Philly had an eye injury. I didn't know that. Anyway, so like I'm picking Touchy because the fact that he's just more well rounded, more experienced. Even though his last legit finish win was back in 2019, I still think he can like go close the distance with Almeida. Because meanwhile, that guy's 100% finish rate. But I don't think he's ever like gone with someone who can like go all 3 rounds like Philly. So at the end of the day, like the experience is on Philly's side. So I say Philly by unanimous decision.
Fair enough, man. I agree with you. I think we lined up pretty well in that fight. So, like I said, I won't have any action on it, but if you do, man, good luck. Uh, Joe, go ahead, brother. And
No,
then
no,
Cade.
no, no, no. Didn't mean to put it up. Go ahead, Cade.
Okay, go ahead, Cade.
Didn't Feely? I just got a question because I'm not near. Well, I could look it up, but you guys might know. Didn't he fight Nathaniel Wood his last fight?
Yes, and lost.
Yeah, I mean, but he still dropped Nathaniel, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
I don't know
mean,
if he dropped him, but I know he stunned him at one point pretty
cause
good.
I mean he's got sneaky little striking, and also I don't think Almeida's takedown defense is great. I don't remember watching the fight where he got taken down a bunch, but I know in the he's only had two fights in the UFC. So I mean it was one of his recent fights, but he only has a 42% takedown defense. So I don't want to sit here and say it's shitty because he's only had two fights, but Feely's wrestling, I mean, that seems like the easy path for him. So I mean,
Yeah, they're both coming off losses. He dropped Nathaniel Wood, but Nathaniel Wood dropped him too.
Yeah, that was a good fight, man.
Yes.
And yeah, like I said, that's my only hesitance with betting this fight is Feely should have the clear wrestling path, and if he did take it, I think he wins this fight pretty easily. He may not get the finish, but I think he dominates him throughout the wrestling because Feely is a decent wrestler. I mean, but I just don't trust him to not get drawn into that firefight. So for me, it's a pass because I mean, like I said, there's been fights before where he's had clear paths with the wrestling, and he just did not take it. So yeah, for me, it's a pass on the betting side, but I'm picking Philly to take the win. And if no one else has anything on that fight, we'll go ahead and move forward to the next one.
Stamp it.
Next fight we have is Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. Tagir is 5'7" with a 70-inch reach versus Durden, who is 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. So it looks like Tagir is the minus 175 favorite. At least that's what it was last updated on Tapology as. Cade, kick this fight off for us, my man.
Yeah, I think Durden got us against Hadley. Well, most of us, not all of us, but most of us. He definitely got me. But I think Tagir is gonna get him this time. Get him this fight. I think he's gonna sub him. So that's just my prediction. I like Tagir. I like his money line. I don't think it's honestly that bad of a price, to be honest. I think it's like minus 170 on DraftKings, minus 172. Maybe it went up. I don't know, but that was like 2 hours ago. And then I also like him by sub as well. So that's my opinion.
Thanks for the take. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
So I know Tagir is the favorite. He's like minus 175, and Cody is plus 143 is the global average on him. DraftKings is looking at plus 160, which is actually the very best line you can get on him at the moment. I think it's a good bet. I think if Tagir can't finish him, I think the easy cap is to say that Tagir is going to sub him. And that's not a shot at you at all, Kate. I'm not like beefing with you. I thought that before you said it. I feel like it's the easy cap for everybody to see. But Cody's on a good run, man. He's been hot. He's got cardio. He can go the distance. I think he can keep up with Tagir. And Tagir's got a serious staph infection right now. I know a lot of people are just like, yeah, whatever, fuck that. Staph infection can gas you out if it's bad enough. It can cause fatigue, pre-fatigue. Nobody's even really talking about it, but he's got a horrible fucking staph infection on his back right now. So
Yeah, I did see. Cody actually did tweet about that earlier today. He said it was nasty. I don't know if he was calling him a nasty ass fuck or saying it was nasty as fuck. But yeah, I guess it was pretty nasty looking.
yeah, so like I feel like there's a few things that might be adding up against Tagir, and Cody's been on a good run. I'll take Cody. I'm going to be honest though, I'm probably not betting it, and it's not because you're taking the dog, but you're not betting it. You're going to hear me say I'm not betting it probably on 8 or 9 fights tonight. I do think Cody is the side though. I really do. Don't take my advice if you bet. I'm horrible.
I do think Cody has a knockout chance if he goes out there and keeps it standing and just kind of flails his punches like he usually does. He kind of throws those big overhand punches, and I mean the dude's got power. He could put him out, but I think I'm gonna ride with Tagir on this one. I feel like he's the side. Barring
Listen,
that.
if he stuffs 2 takedowns in the row out the gate though, bro, you better start live betting Cody.
Barring that staph infection affecting him, Cody Durden. I mean, he does seem like he has improved his cardio a bit, but he does go all out in those first 2 rounds, and he definitely slows in the third. So I wouldn't be surprised for a third round submission, honestly, if it doesn't come sooner in the fight. So I do like the sub prop out there that you put out there earlier, Cade. So I am in agreement with you on that part. Daniel, what you got, my man?
I got Cody around this one due to the fact of his background outside of MMA, which is both kickboxing and boxing. He has at least done 3 4-round, 3-minute fights in boxing and won all 3 by decision. Even his one kickboxing, which was 3 3-minute rounds. But the point is, like, he can definitely go a distance. That's why his last 3 fights out of his 4 win streak has been by unanimous decision. I think he can withstand that. He'd either keep it standing, get the decision, or knock him out. But I did my numbers, and you all know I'm all about the numbers. So I'm going with Duran KO round 1.
That's bold, man. But like I said, I could definitely see it. He throws those big overhand punches, and honestly, if he gets on top, he's got good top attack. Boy, I got
Oh yeah,
Only
you don't
question
want
tonight.
him punching you from the top. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah. But so if anybody else anything else on this fight, or are we good to move on to the next one?
I think that's that.
All right, we'll close that one out. I'm actually pretty excited for this fight, man. I'm a big Ariana Lipsky fan. I've been on the island with her a few times on these fights with her winning, specifically the Gato fight. Yeah, so I'm not to give away too much, but yeah, Ariana Lipsky versus Casey O'Neill, Casey King O'Neill. Casey O'Neill is 5'6" with a 69-inch reach versus Lipsky, who is 5'6" with a 67-inch reach. So O'Neill does have a 2-inch reach advantage. Yeah, for me, this one is Lipsky's definitely the better striker. She's the more dangerous striker. Uh, Casey O'Neill does have okay striking, and she has okay takedowns. If this fight stays standing, I expect Lipsky to light her up, possibly get the finish. O'Neill, as we saw in her last fight, is pretty hittable. Doesn't have, like I said, the stand up's not there. She's been the beneficiary of a easy schedule herself as far as the UFC. With Roxanne Modafferi definitely skewing things. I was always a big Roxy fan, but we know Roxy wasn't the most technical fighter, and she was very hittable. So she actually made Casey O'Neill striking look better than it was. Um, but yeah, if Casey's not able to get Lipsky down, and she absorbs a lot of punishment in that first round, I wouldn't be surprised to see her get her out of there in the early first or in the second, and or even just if she's able to survive in the late rounds after if she gasses, she could win a decision from just the amount of damage that she's able to inflict on Casey O'Neill in the time that she's able to keep it standing. So, yeah, I'm taking a dog shot on Ariana Lipsky here. I will take I'm taking the KO. I will get the line for that in a minute. I got to pull up my bet online. But yeah, man, I'm pretty bullish on Ariana Lipsky for this fight. Definitely, so I'm a big fan of her. I think she's one of the nastier, meaner girls as far as striking goes in the MMA or in the UFC, anyways. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this fight plays out, man. Either way, I'm a fan of both girls, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a banger. Daniel, what you got on this fight?
Yeah, I agree 1,000,000%. Both I like both these women. And outside UFC, they both have won individual belts in their weight class. But here's the difference: when actually this is an interesting fact. So O'Neal won a belt in her MMA debut, like her first fight. She won this belt called the EMMA, Eternal MMA belt. But after she defended a second time, she was stripped because she weighed in about 0.4 pounds over. Meanwhile, we got Lipsinski. She defended hers and never lost it because it was because she was overweight. So what I think the experience it's on Lipsky's side over Casey O'Neill due to she's knowledge that she's been in more fights, but she has fought like tough people. Like I remember the one with JJ Aldrich. That was a tough fight. I think I picked her. I don't remember, but I'm saying that the experience is on there, and not only that, she definitely practices Muay Thai. So I'm sorry, she's a black belt in Muay Thai. So as you know, she hits hard, hence her name, the Queen of Violence. So I'm picking the same thing you did. I have her winning third round TKO.
Solid, man. Yeah, I mean, I do think this fight gets finished one way or the other. I actually like the under 2.5 at plus 160. I'm looking at it right now on Bet Online. I don't think this fight goes all 3 rounds. Like I said, I think Lipsky piles on early, possibly gets the finish, or I think O'Neal could finish late, or it could just be a one sided fight either way, man. Like I said, this is a good fight. I just think if she's not able to get Lipsky down, it's just going to be a tough road for Casey O'Neill. But yeah, the under 2.5 to me at plus 160 seems like a good bet, as well as I looked and Lipsky KO is plus 700, so pretty good look on that too. So I might sprinkle a little bit on that as well. But yeah, that's what I got on this fight. Anybody else got any takes on this fight? Crickets.
Sorry, Trace. I got dealing with a child. Well, we won't.
Oh, yeah.
Back in a
We know how
minute.
that goes, brother. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next fight, though. And if Joe has a take, we'll bounce back to that one. This one should garner some interest for sure. We have Cody No Love Garbrandt versus Brian Boom Kelleher. No, Cody Garbrandt is 5'8" with a 65.5-inch reach versus Kelleher 5'6" with a 64-inch reach. Yeah, who wants to kick this fight off for me? Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm picking Cody, but here's the thing: he should not go to the ground with Brian Keller. That man's a monster on the ground. So Cody needs to keep this standing and get the finish. Otherwise, Keller will give him his first ever submission loss. So I'm sticking with Team Alpha Male on this one. Garbrandt by KO round 1.
Yeah, I think Cody should win this fight. I don't know if he'll get the finish, but if he can stay out of getting hit with a big overhand right from Brian Kelleher, Brian does have power. Um, and I understand what you're saying about the guillotine because Brian Kelleher does have a nasty guillotine, but I just see this fight playing out. I mean, I feel like this is not a builder fight for Kelleher. I think this might be some sort of attempt at a resurrection for Cody Garbrandt. Like I said, we've seen that the chin he can't take punishment. He can't take the big shots anymore. May have never been able to take the shots. To be honest with you, I would have to go back and rewatch his rise to the belt to see if he was ever really hit clean before. I don't really recall, but yeah, I feel like Cody still has enough to beat Brian Kelleher. I don't think that he sunk that far, but I would not be surprised to see if Boom did land a big punch and put him down, or at least stumble him. But Cody should have him covered pretty much anywhere. And as far as the guillotine, like I said, Team Alpha Male is pretty famous for their guillotines as well as their guillotine defense. So I feel like if Boom did get that, that would be a huge compliment to himself because I mean that's what they're famous for. So if you get caught in something that you're supposed to be famous for, it's probably not a good look for the team. But get a couple of guys on the mic here. Joe, what you got on this fight?
All right. So everybody knows Brian Keller is 37 years old, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's old, man. He's not old as me, but he's old. He's 37 years old. Cody Garbrandt is 32. Even though a lot of people feel like Cody is off to the wayside, better years behind him, and his better years may be behind him. Like we may not ever see Cody Garbrandt fighting for a title again, but as far as his physical, athletic peak, there's a very good chance that we're going to see it now. There's a very good chance that Cody Garbrandt is still going to look very fast, not because he's as fast as he was years ago, because Brian Kelleher is slow. He's old and he is slow. And the truth is, he's not really that great of a grappler. He's a good grappler if you're not a grappler. And I'm not saying that Cody Garbrandt is a grappler. But coming out of Team Alpha Male, we know he's got good takedown defense. We know he's got good scrambles. And we know he's got to have some pedigree of wrestling. Like it's got to be there somewhere. We've never really had to see it, but it has to be there somewhere. I don't feel like Brian will be good enough to out wrestle him, take him down, or do much. I know the big overhand right is the big question, but I just don't think he can get it on Cody. I think this one adds up for Cody to get a win, and get things moving for himself again. I don't want to say feeder fight because I think the UFC likes Brian Kelleher, but I mean, the math just adds up. If yeah, the math just adds up to me. I'm on Cody all day on this one.
Okay, what do you got on this fight?
Yeah, I like Cody too. I think Cody, he is he actually is a solid wrestler. That's actually his background. I know, like Joe said, we haven't really had to see it a whole lot, but like he is a solid wrestler, and I don't think that fight is if it goes there. Yeah. Hold on one second, my daughter's interrupting me. What's up?
Better take care of that.
I do want to say this though, like Cody, when Cody was at his pinnacle or his prime, his rise up, that dude was like he was his own entity, man. Like the shit that he did, the way he embarrassed Dominic Cruz. As I've, if you've been in here before, I'm very clear that I'm not a Dominic Cruz fan. Beautiful work, man. Like the whole, he had the tattoo of the gun on his back. Or I think he used to. I think he's got it covered since then. But he had the gun on his back, and him acting like he's pulling the gun and aiming at Cruz, and then dropping him after that. Like you couldn't have scripted that shit, man. That was some wild shit. But Cade, back to your point, brother.
All right. Yeah, so he is a good wrestler. He is going to be much faster. It was brought to my attention that, Cody could be vulnerable, like Joe said today, when I was having this conversation with somebody else today about this specific fight that, Brian could finish Cody by knocking him out. He's got to catch Cody to knock him out. And, even last time, I think Cody fought Trevin Jones. I think he even implemented some of his wrestling in to that fight as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, I like this fight for Cody. I think this is Cody's fight to lose, and you know, like Joe said, Brian's 37 years old, man, and if you go and look at his resume, I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he's won very many fights lately. Like, I mean, I think he's slowing down.
No,
Himself.
he's been rear naked twice in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think this is Cody's fight to lose, man. That's really all I have on this fight. I definitely am betting Cody Garbrandt. Um, and that's that.
Go ahead, YB.
So I mean, yeah, I'm basically just gonna pile on. I see a round one, maybe round two KO for Cody. I think it's just an obvious spot for him. Brian promotionally, he's not really gonna do much for them. Obviously, they've just got to get out what they can from Cody. They kind of built him back, obviously slowly, because we saw him get nuked, and all the things, and then the confidence goes. And you're like, oh man, am I even that good? And da 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 da. We saw last fight, Cody started doing the I guess you could call it the robot, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he was getting, whenever Homeboy was whiffing at him. So I think his confidence has been building up, and I think probably he comes in and maybe starches Brian, man. Maybe a round one, round two. That's what I'd like to see either way. But not going to talk 30 minutes on this fight. We all think it's pretty clear here.
Joe, what you got?
Kind of close it out. I guess. I just want a couple things. So first, I followed Cody's career, not like in detail, but my wife thought he was cute, so he's the only fighter my wife I'd ever be like, oh, he's fighting. I'll watch. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Your boyfriend's gonna get beat up. And like, even when I met Cody, I'm like, yeah, I was like, my wife likes you, so I tell her boyfriend's fighting when you're fighting, And Cody was a really good guy when I met him. I feel like the one thing I want to touch on is he's changed a lot as a person, so I want him to get the W. This is the fight that Joe, the matchmaker, made. Cody asked specifically, "Go get me a fight, kid. You're matchmaker for a day. Well, I want to fight. Go get me a fight." So he started walking around asking the other guys in the weight class at the PI if I got the story right, and that's how this fight came to be, which is a cool little story. And the comment on him fighting Dominic Cruz, the best thing about that fight, because I was not a Cody fan at all at the time. The absolute best thing about that fight was it drew a line in the sand for Dominic Cruz to shut his mouth. I didn't have to hear him anymore talk about being the GOAT or the best or any of that bullshit because you clearly got fucking embarrassed. It was one of my favorite moments in MMA history when he did that to Dominic Cruz. Not for the showmanship, for what it did to Dominic Cruz's ego. That's all I got, Trace.
One last thing, we don't want to pile on too much. I think we've already went over on this fight a little bit, but I would say this: like Brian Kelleher also seems to have the way he carries himself. It seems like he knows that he's going to be a journeyman for a while, and that he's just here to make fun fights and whatever the UFC wants him to do, build this guy and fraud check a couple other guys. But I feel like he's just accepted the company man role and the journeyman role, and he's just willing to fight whoever just to keep his contract and stay in the UFC, even if that means he doesn't win. So, yeah, take that into effect. I feel like he doesn't take these fights planning to win.
No, and I
But,
like the guy for that reason, to be honest, Trace. I like the fact that
100%.
he's 37 years old and he appreciates, man, I'm in the fucking UFC. I fight on TV. I get paid. My life is great. And he's one of those guys. So I do like Brian.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just saying, more or less, I feel like he knows where he's at in his career, and he's just happy to be that guy, to be there for the UFC when they need fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, filling Robbie Lawler's shoes.
Exactly. But we'll close that fight out. We'll go on to the next one where we have Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa. Irene is 5'9", 68.5-inch reach versus the 5'5", 67.5-inch reach. Carol Rosa. Uh, One thing to note, Irene Aldana is the elder fighter by 7 years. She is 35 versus the 28-year-old Carol Rosa. But for me, man, I don't feel like that really matters for this fight. Not that it's a super huge age gap either way. Um, Typically, I would rather go for the fighter with who I would say is the more complete fighter with the wrestling, which would be Carol Rosa. She can strike and she can wrestle. But overall, I'm just unimpressed with her UFC stint as a whole. Wins over Beth Kahea. Beth is no longer the organization. She's retired. We kind of seen that her rise to the belt when she fought Ronda Rousey was a bit of a fluke. She beat what they call was the Four Horsemen. Ronda Rousey being the fourth of the four horsemen. So she beat three of her teammates and was trying to complete the quadfecta, I guess you'd call it. And she got fraud checked against Ronda Rousey. She got knocked out by Ronda, who doesn't knock people out. But yeah, so that to me that win carries no weight. She lost to Sarah McMahon. Sarah McMahon is very old. Lena Landsberg, she won a majority decision, so a close fight against Lena Landsberg, who I'm not saying she wasn't UFC caliber, but she wasn't the highest level of MMA talent, I guess you'd say. And then lost to Norma Dumont. I fuck with Big Norm, so nothing wrong with that. I like Big Norma. She's a savage, so you can't really hold that against her. But I don't win against Yana Santos. So like none of these wins are really impressive, and her losses aren't really too impressive fighters as well. I feel like Irene is going to be able to keep the fight standing, and if she's not able to get Irene down, I feel like she gets pieced up on the feet with the boxing. Uh, Give me the fight goes over. Give me Irene Aldana via decision. Yeah, I feel like for me it's pretty straightforward. It's Irene or nothing. And, I mean, the lines they're still a little. I wouldn't bet her at -185 because I'm not that confident in her. But I was as a whole, like I say, Carol Hoza. I couldn't get behind her as a dog in this fight. So Irene it is. YB, what you got?
So I would like to bet 10,000 Monopoly dollars on Irene Aldana to win this fight. Monopoly dollars clearly because I don't have 10K to throw. She's got this. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I was backing Irene versus Nunes, right? I like Irene a lot. I really do. She just shit the fucking bed, of course. She's gonna demolish this girl. I honestly see like a round 2 KO in this fight because she's gonna come in there kind of pissed because she pulled the gun versus John Jones with Nunes last time out, so she's gonna want to go in there and correct that. I think round 2 KO.
Solid, like I said, man. If she's forced to stand with Irene, it's not gonna be a fun night for Carol Hoza. Like I said, I usually don't tend to just like to roll with just a boxer because, like, I feel like for women's MMA, you don't have knockouts really at that weight division. So you have to be a real tactician to be somebody that's worth like betting on as just a boxer, as just a striker, especially at the lower weight classes. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she's able to overwhelm Carol Jose on the feet and get the finish either. Joe, what do you got?
So I do have a system for betting certain things, certain criteria. This is a free over. This is free. I don't care about all them dumbass knockout predictions. Sorry, guys. That shit's not going down. This is a free over. Don't miss it. And that's my sincere take. Run your math. Go back. Find the fucking Irene Aldana knockout, bloom, whatever. I don't care about any of that shit. This is a free over. Bet the fucking over.
Daniel.
You're right. I mean, Irina is pissed off. I mean, her last fight was against Nunes for the belt. She better be coming into this fight pissed off. Not only that, the Alexa Grosso, that she'll have the champ in her corner for her fights. I've been following Irene Aldana since Invicta. When that show at the time she was only 4-0, and mind you, she finished all her opponents before she got the call to the UFC. Even though in her debut she lost, but she won fight of the night. Like this woman has won 3 bonuses performance of the night in Invicta, and she's won 4 already in UFC, 2 fight of the nights and 2 performance of the night. So this woman really goes into the kill all the time. Meanwhile, Rosa, she's like most of her wins are by decision. So with that saying, I just think Arena is gonna bring she has more of the dog in her. Maybe all seen her do it. So at the end of the day, I'm picking Alanda by KO round 1.
Fair enough, man. Thanks for the take. If nobody else has anything on this fight, we'll go ahead and close it out and move on to the next one. Go ahead, Vinny.
Hey, you guys hear me okay?
Hey, wait. I bet you $20 he's taking Irene Aldana.
No, I was actually going to tell you guys that I've been following Irina Aldana lately a lot. And ever since she got into that fight with, what was that last fight in Canada? Young B was talking about with,
Amanda Nunes?
yeah, Amanda Nunez. She's been hurt a lot, man. She's been fucking going through therapy. She's been going through a lot of fucking. I think she had like a leg messed up, then she had an arm messed up. So I don't know about this fight, man. I think she's falling apart. I like her. I like Irina Aldana. You know, that's my sister, but I'm not confident that she's going to be able to put anything together. And I'm actually going to go with Rosa.
Damn, Vinny. I'm surprised in you for that one.
Yeah, it's just what I've been seeing her a lot in the hospital in fucking clinics, and I can't trust that. I mean, if it feels like she's being like I said, like she's falling apart. Like you can look at her Instagram and you'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of fucking surgeries on her legs, on her arm.
Nah, bro. To me, that's good cap. Like, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I feel like that's good cap. Like, if you're gonna bet the fight, that's whether you hit the bet or you don't. I feel like that's good strategy, bro. You're not just throwing odds out there. You know what I mean? You got tact there. So I don't disagree with you at all. And I didn't know all of that. And honestly, that makes me like extra confident in the over. I don't think Carol Rosa can finish her. I think she can hug her for 3 rounds. That's just what I think. I think that she can stay on top of her. And if she's been hurt either leg, either arm, all Carol really needs is something to bother her, and then slows her down. Yeah, I'm really confident in this over. That makes me feel like even higher. Even though I was like, don't miss the fucking over. It makes me feel even better about it.
We gotta start writing down the ones that we agree on, so we can start doing like a on topic parlay or a cap and may parlay. I'm pretty sure Usman has said that a few times, and for whatever reason we don't ever pick him up on it. But
So
like
we
I said,
do
I
that in
said
the
from
day,
the
bro.
get go.
They hit, Trace. We
should
take
do it.
just the ones that everybody agrees on. They hit, bro. I swear to God, they hit. We've done it before.
Hey, everybody pitches in $5, and you know what?
Just go make your bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take the picks and go make your bet.
Yeah, man, you ain't getting my money, fucker.
No, wait, but he'll
You
hold
bastard.
it. Listen, he'll hold it, and then we'll roll it, and then when it finally hits, he'll mail it to us.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I bet.
Santa Claus.
We'll
I
never hear
got
from
some
Vinny again.
beachfront
And
property
you
in
know what?
Nebraska if you guys need it.
Vinny will still have the nerve to come in here and participate in fucking in breakdowns with us after that too.
Hey, I got a
What,
quick
guys?
question. Sorry to interrupt this fight, but I've been meaning to ask, and I'll forget. Is there anywhere where we can have a betting competition where like is there any place that monitors that? Like, I know DraftKings will let you do a tournament, but like, can you do like we're gonna bet on these 8 events with start with this much money and whoever ends with the most wins? Not for like taking the other people's money, but like, is there a place you can do that shit that anybody knows of?
You
So
can
not quite.
actually go ahead, Trace.
So not quite exactly like that, but the All Star MMA app, the one that Jay hosts or Jay Spec and them did,
Yeah.
you can do a like a MMA competition for the month of just say January or December or whatever you want to do. It accumulates points, and there's a ranking on there what's telling you what place you're in. So yeah, you technically could do that.
So here's what I
It would
found
be
out, though.
experience.
Here's what I found out. Honest to God, and it caused some problems in our earlier spaces. Here's what I have found out. Making picks and making bets are not the same thing. That's why you always hear me very careful to represent my picks as my picks and my bets as my bets. Because, and I'm not talking about any particular person, a lot of people were on this fight, on that fight, on this fight, the whole card, but not everybody was making all those bets. So when it's free, people are going to make all these picks. When they don't have a pick, they just take the favorite, take the favorite, take the favorite. And, like, it's a tactic. I'm looking for a place where we can deposit money and you got to place bets on it. And in a month, we see who's got the most.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
you
That
could
sounds like something. Go ahead,
you
Kay. Go
can
ahead, Kay.
you could do that on so DraftKings has a thing where if everybody bets on DraftKings, uh you can make a betting league, and basically it tracks all your bets, and you can see anytime somebody, if you're in the league.
Oh, I made a league. I didn't know what
Yeah,
the fuck
then
it
you can,
was.
it'll
I
track.
made a
So
league.
like, so basically every time somebody makes a bet, so even if they make a bet though, let's say on NHL, it'll go to that. So you'll be able to see anything and everything. But if you made a league strictly for UFC, then it would track everybody's bets. But also another thing that's kind of cool that I just found out, and I was trying to figure out how to do it, but my stepdad's buddy just he made, so instead of doing fantasy football, he created a DFS league or whatever it's called, um for just so then they pick a new team every week and they just throw into the pot. So I was going to say, maybe if you guys are interested in that, you guys can create a DFS league, and with all the on topic people and everybody, it could be like a $10 buy-in or something like that. And then you can also compete for that. The top 3 guys get the pot. Obviously the first guy gets the most, the second guy gets the second most, the third guy pretty much gets his buy-in back or a little bit more than that. But that would be another option that's pretty cool too. But yeah, DraftKings, you can definitely do like a league where everybody that bets UFC on DraftKings, that enters your league, you can track everybody's bets.
So that's what I'd like to do. Like, we've done the DFS stuff. It's fun or whatever. And it's not really like a big deal. I'd just like everybody to put 20, like, say, hey, we're going to put up $20 and bet whatever size units. And, just for fun. Like, I don't think I'm going to outbet you guys, to be honest. I think Trace is going to whoop my fucking ass, to be totally honest. I'd like to see where some of you land because I might just start tailing your bets. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I just think it would be fun. Anyway, my bad for the big detour there, Trace. Cade, what'd you have on the Irene Aldana fight?
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually kind of like Hosa too, and I it's not anything to do with Aldana can't beat her or anything like that. But when I look at the fight breakdown, I'm like, at first I thought, Aldana should beat her, but the more and more I think about it, I'm like, Aldana had her shot and got her ass whipped. And Host is still only, she's still like 7 years younger or some shit like that. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe it's her time right now more than Aldana's. I'm not betting the fight though. Fuck that. I'm not even touching that fight. But I think Hosa can beat her. By beat her, I mean probably just hug on her for like 3 rounds. But whatever.
Yeah,
fair enough.
100%. I am betting the over, guys. Like on this one, the over is I don't know what the line is. If I can't get a good line, I'll just fucking parlay it with something else. But I am definitely taking the over on this fight.
The over's pretty cooked, but it'll be a good parlay piece. It's over 2.5 is minus 325.
Are we getting a over parlay out here or a over under parlay?
We'll run them all back at the end and see. We'll see if we all agree on a bunch of them. I'll place the bet on the parlay that we make.
Here's what you guys do if you want to win money. You go over to Baby's page and you bet $100 on every single one of his
Every
parlays,
fucking
and at
thing he
least 2 of
does.
those bitches are hitting.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bet everything he bets. I know.
Like I said, man, I shout that man out all the time. He is the king of the parlay.
This
That dude
this
cleans
card's
up.
interesting for him though, because he I think he bet every single favorite. I don't think he has one dog on his card this time out. So his
I've hit
card
that
is
shit
definitely
before,
interested.
bro. I've
What'd you
hit
say?
that shit before. I've hit all favorites before.
Oh no, I'm not saying he won't hit it. I'm just saying it's an interesting couple parlays that he put out this week. But I'm not doubting that one of them motherfuckers don't hit, because what he does is, because I was talking to him today, he said I bet most of the fights on the card, and then I'll go back through the ones that I'm just like, oh, I can see a side for the other guy, and I just take them out, and then I put some more money. I just put more money on it because it's not as high of odds. But no, that guy's fucking legit with the parlays, bro. He hits 2 or 3 out of the 4 he places every week.
So the one he's got questions about, he takes them out, and what does he do again with them?
So let's say he bets 9 fights. He'll put maybe 100, 200 on them, but then he'll go through and take out the iffy fights that maybe he thinks that another side could possibly win. So then it brings it down to like a 5 or a 6 legger, but he'll put 500 on it.
He reverse builds it. He reverse builds parlays.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Instead of adding 3 and then being like, okay, this one's more risky, I'm going to place a separate bet on a 4 leg, and then this one's more risky, I'm going to place a separate bet on a 5 leg. He just does it backwards. He does
because he's still going to profit if one of them hits.
Yeah, he just does it backwards though. He takes all his picks up front, places a parlay, and then starts making smaller parlays out of that parlay, basically.
Yeah, so you got to choose all the ones you think are going to win, like all the favorites. I agree. This card, I'm thinking all the fucking favorites, including Leon Edwards.
Well, thanks for ruining it for us there, Vinny.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm sorry. Jump ahead.
we'll go ahead and close this fight out and move on to the next one. Next fight, we have Atomic Alonzo Minifield versus Dustin the Honyak Jacoby. Minifield is 36 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach, versus the 35-year-old, 6'3", 76-inch reach, Dustin Jacoby. So outside of the height advantage, the reach advantage is pretty even. I don't have much on this fight. I'm more or less just going to sit back and watch it. I'm definitely not going to bet it. I would say the more powerful striker is definitely Alonzo Minifield. He's been having a kind of a bit of a resurgence here lately in the UFC. He's 3-1-1 in his last 5 in the UFC. I just feel like he doesn't have the cardio, but like I said, this is a weird fight for me. I can't get behind a minus 270 Dustin Jacoby, too much too heavy of a line. So I feel like if anything, I would have to go dog or pass on this fight from a betting standpoint. But I feel like Jacoby should be able to edge out a striking decision as long as Minifield doesn't hit him with a big bomb in the process or out wrestle him, because he honestly could go the wrestling route. So yeah, for betting, I would take Alonzo, but for a pick, I would take Dustin Jacoby. Cade, what do you got?
So every card I usually do like a 3 to 4 pick parlay, but most of them are props. So And I only throw 10 or 15 bucks on it. I just do it for fun, if it hits, it's a couple $100 or whatever. This time I did 4, or I haven't placed it yet. I'm going to do 4. But I'm going to add Alonzo Menafield to that because I feel like uh, I feel like he has a chance, bro. I mean, he has a puncher's chance. I think it's just one of those fights where, like, somebody's probably gonna die. I don't, I think, I really think that Lonzo can get him, bro. I don't understand. I mean, if anybody else has a different take and wants to come in and tell me I'm wrong, but I don't see how Dustin Jacoby could be minus 270. That is just wild, man. Especially because of the performances that Menafield had against Crute. I mean, especially the second fight that they just had. Like, and you could say Crute's head wasn't in there or whatever you want to say about him, but the thing is I think Alonzo could beat him, bro, and I think he could. I mean, he has a puncher's chance in any fight, to be honest, but especially a fight like this.
100%. He definitely got a puncher's chance for sure. Daniel, you had your hand up first. We'll go to you first.
Yeah, look, I love both these guys. They're both dynamic and love to keep the fight standing. But I'm gonna get side with Jacoby on this because due to his background, both in he has boxing and kickboxing bouts, equal number to his MMA fights. So he definitely has the better gas tank. Excuse me, I say because the fact that he's been more rounds than Alonzo has. So I think because of that, he can pace himself better. So, but overall, I don't see his fight going any other way except one way, and that's by a KO. So I see Jacoby taking this round 2 KO.
Fair enough, man. We will see on this fight. I think this is going to be a good fight on the feet for as long as it stays standing. It'll be a very interesting fight.
Hey Trace, real quick. I know Joe has his hand up and Young Boy, but I just wanted to say the under 2.5 in this fight is damn near plus money. I think it was minus 120 this morning. That's absurd to me.
So there's some juice on the line there if you feel like the fight goes under 2.5. So good look out on the line there, Cade. Joe, what do you got on this fight?
I'm on Jacoby. I think Zoe has looked good lately. I think he's looked great lately. I don't think he's going to be able to do that to Dustin Jacoby. I just feel like Dustin is he's going to be the evidently bigger fighter in there. I know Jimmy Crute was bigger than Zoe, but I feel like even though it's only another inch and like another inch or so of reach, I just feel like he's gonna look much smaller in there. I feel like that's why you're seeing that line you were just talking about, Cade. Zoe's he's a 185er going up to 205. I mean, I know he's big. I know he's jacked. I get all that, but he's a 185er, man. Dustin is a real 205er. He's got real power. He can take a punch. Zoe could clip him. I mean, the puncher's chance. You can't even argue with puncher's chance at 205. You could say it about fucking anybody. I know Zoe's percentage on the puncher's chance is probably much higher, but I think this is an easy one for Dustin to take the distance. If Zoe gasses late, if he starts huffing, if he's breathing from his belly going into round 3, you better bet the KO on Dustin because he's gonna knock him out. That's my take.
And if you do that, let me know what book you are using that lets you take KO props live because I need that shit in my life. YB, what you got?
I'm pretty sure FanDuel allows live props.
So
But
sometimes DraftKings will too, Trace.
Well, ain't that some shit? Not in my state, they don't.
I'm
Yeah,
on
out here
Jacoby.
I can't get live props on DraftKings.
So we'll only get 2 bets though. It'll be like it won't say KO though, but you'll get the inside the distance sometimes. You won't get the KO live. I shouldn't say that. That's not real. That's not real at all. Yeah, that's not real. But you can get them live.
I only say FanDuel. FanDuel especially has opened up more with their NBA props as well live. So I think they've kind of been doing work on the live thing as a whole, but I'm not really sure. I can't check it, obviously, due to geolocation errors. I think Jacoby. I think another KO is incoming. This is gonna be a really fucking good card. He fought Alex Pereira. I don't know what year in kickboxing was like fucking 6 years ago or something. There's history there. There's a storyline there. Kickboxers are on the way up right now. City Boy's up in the light heavyweight division, so just got to go with him.
That's a what is that word I'm looking for? Not a story type, but they have the rivalry there, so you can build that story off of that rivalry. That's an interesting way to look at it. Next fight we have is Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Emmett is 5'6" with a 70-inch reach, also 38 years of age, versus the 29-year-old 5'10", 70-inch reach Bryce Mitchell. So 4-inch reach advantage, but everything else is pretty much the same. Like I said, also a 9-year age gap. So YB, kick it off for us.
As God is my witness, Bryce Mitchell is going to win this fight. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right now, and I'm gonna tell you it good. Bryce Mitchell is gonna win this fight, and he is gonna hold the Bible up after and rebuke Satan and his name as God watches and America watches. All right, Bryce Mitchell all the way. Emmett is done. It's time to retire. I don't even like him as a fighter in the first place. I know he's good, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's time to wrap it up.
Vinny, when somebody goes full Bryce Mitchell, you don't interrupt, Bubba. You let him go. That was a spot on Bryce Mitchell impersonation. He even kind of sounded like him. That was good shit, YB. Iron, what you got on this fight, man?
Hi guys, how we doing? I think personally with Bryce Mitchell, I think whether you buy into him being sick against Taporia or not, I think he is on like an undefeated streak bar that fight. So I think he gets it done by submission in probably the second.
You think Mitchell gets it done via submission in the second?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like that's probably a solid bet, man. We saw how easily that Yair got the submission on him. Granted, he's not going to do the kind of damage on him on the feet that Yair did, but yeah, Bryce Mitchell was proven to be a very lethal submission artist on the ground. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Daniel, what do you got?
No. Like Josh Emmett trained a team Alpha Male. He's only lost one time by submission. In fact, he's only been finished twice. So clearly Josh Emmett is a hard guy to finish. I'm just saying. So with that saying, I think he will keep this fight standing, or even just like whatever Bryce Mitchell throws at him, he'll just escape, and at the end he'll get a TKO finish in round 3, handing Bryce Mitchell's first ever loss by by a KO-TKO. I just think with his experience, you just see it coming. Whatever Bryce Mitchell throws at him. Not only that, we all seen what Emmett has lately been knocking people out left and right. I mean, obviously he's been on a 2-fight losing streak, but what I'm saying is, like, remember that power jab he gave to back tech, and they went to the ground part. Before that, this guy Michael Johnson, he had that overhand right, which I never saw coming because I had him by decision. So I have this fight, 3rd round TKO from Josh Emmett.
Yeah, Emmett definitely has the power to put him out with one shot. And the difference on the feet is definitely big enough for him to be able to land that shot if he's able to fend off the takedowns. So I don't think that's a bad look there, Daniel. I can see where you're coming from on that fight. Dead, my brother, what you got?
First and foremost, CapMMA.com, bitches. Check us out. We're free. No ads, no scams, no trackers, nothing to pay for. All you got to do is go to the website, capmma.com. It helps you build up parlays. We got news outlets on there. We got, just resources to help you, do research on your own fights. You don't got to pay for nothing. Just check us out. Promise
You
you'll
can
fuck
find
with it.
articles by Mr. Cade Morehouse in the room here over there. If you click the Cage Side Press thing under headlines over there, it's a cool place.
I'm telling you, this is literally the only place I have to go to now. If I'm not opening up Twitter, if I'm in a pinch, I just need someone to go get the latest news or whatever, I just go to captainmay.com. Literally, that's all I got to do. But yeah, in terms of this fight, I'm in a rough spot. I want to bet Bryce Mitchell very badly just because, I'm a fan. I'm truly a fan of what he stands for and, everything he does inside and out, the cage. But I don't know, man. I mean, he's even saying it himself in these interviews that Josh Emmett is an older fighter, but he does have to worry about those punches. I mean, besides that, like how Daniel was saying. I mean, yeah, Emmett can knock him out for sure, but it's to me in this scenario, I don't know, man. I feel like if Bryce knows that he just has to implement the wrestling, and he could just grind out the takedowns, just get some ground control, then yeah, we could take. But on the other hand, if Bryce wants to stay standing, which I doubt he would, learning from Ilya Taporia, then I just don't see a point in him, standing. I mean, he still trains, I'm pretty sure at the same fucking farmhouse ranch that he's training out of with his boys. I mean, when he got the call, it was like 10 days notice or something like that, and he was like up on the roof, like building like his farm or some shit. So, I mean, it's good to know that the guy's active. It's good to know that the guy, is still confident in himself because if you listen to the interviews, you would see that he was admitting to not not taking it as serious or whatever. But he's good now. He's good to go. I'd say for me the pick and the bet's probably gonna just be the over. I want to put Bryce in the parlays. If anything, I'll probably put him in the same game parlay with the over, or I might just do some reverse ladder parlays how Baby does. But for sure, if anything, I'm gonna have to be siding with Bryce, and I'm gonna be looking at that over. That over 2.5 for was it -190? Yeah,
Yeah, minus one
yeah.
ninety.
I saw that on capandmay.com. So yeah, guys, that's really all I got.
Yeah, man, I'm on the over 2.5. I think this fight goes to decision most likely. For me, the Bryce Mitchell decision prop is only plus 115. There's really not a lot of meat on the bone there, but I do think that's the most likely outcome. So anytime you can get a plus money on a decision prop, where the fighter definitely has the ability to grind out and win, as well as it's probably the more likely option of the two. I mean, like Daniel did say, he does train. Emmett does train at Team Alpha Male. He should be able to fend off some chokes, but with age and with the years of taking big punishment, particularly the Jeremy Stevens, I'm pretty sure we all have that one in the back of our mind forever because it's such a brutal knockout. Um, yeah, I just feel like he should still be able to survive the Mitchell onslaught, barring old age and just damage. I think Mitchell should be able to grind out a decision here pretty easily with a somewhat possible finish. But I do think if the finish comes late via submission, I think it would come late. I think it would be like a third round submission. Looking at that right now, Bryce Mitchell round 3 in general is plus 1,000, and then the submission prop for round 3 is plus 1,250. I don't hate those numbers, but I'm definitely going to be on the decision and the over for this fight. Cade, what do you got?
Joe, you've been having your hand up for a while. You got something?
Yeah, I think Emmett can be a parlay buster, so I'm skipping this fight. I see all the upside for Mitchell. Emmett was a coach. Emmett didn't try to become an MMA fighter. Emmett was training all the pro MMA fighters and took a couple of fights because he's training everybody, and he made it in the UFC. Man, I've always really respected Josh Emmett as a fighter. I don't think he's the upside here. I just really feel that he is a parlay buster. So I am going to skip this one strictly on that I really fear Emmett as a parlay buster.
Very fair. Cade.
My bad. So here's the thing. I look at this fight a lot like the Dan Ige fight for Bryce Mitchell, except for the fact that I think Josh Emmett has a little bit more power than Ige, but he's slower than Ige. And I also think Ige's got a little bit better statistically takedown defense than Josh Emmett. So do what you will with that. But I think Bryce is the side now that I've looked over everything. I think he's going to actually. I think someone else said it. I think he's going to sub Emmett. I really do. It's been a little bit since Bryce has finished, and I think he gets one here.
Fair enough. Vinny, I saw you wave your hand. Did you have a take on this fight?
Yes, sir. I don't know why I don't have a hand icon, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I totally agree with YB, and I apologize for interrupting him about the Bible. But I do agree with him. I think Bryce Mitchell is the side on this. I don't like Emmett, and I think Emmett is, even though he's been winning a lot of fights lately. I never liked him, and I think this is the time to fade him. This is the fight for Emmett to get faded. So I'm gonna go with Bryce Mitchell, baby.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I do think that the knockout is definitely very realistic outcome in this. Joe's right. I mean, this of the fights, this one could be a potential parlay buster as well as the next fight. Less on the next fight, I'd say, but this one for sure has the potential to. Uh, yeah, Thug Nasty leaves a lot to be desired on the feet
To bust a parlay?
sometimes.
Did you lose your train
Yeah,
of thought looking at the screen there, Trace?
yeah. Yeah, he does definitely has the ability to pop that parlay for a lot of people. But I do think Bryce Mitchell should win this fight at a high clip. But we'll close that fight out and move on to the next one. This is potentially the people's main event. Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. Tony is 39 years old, 2 months shy of his 40th birthday. 5'11" with a 76.5-inch reach versus Paddy Pimblett, 28 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. I can kick this fight off, man. For me, it feels like how does Tony win this fight? Like, yeah, he could catch Patty on the feet just because Patty does tend to whenever he starts throwing flurries, he doesn't move his head. He plants them feet and just starts winging looping punches. Which I mean, we've seen the man has power. So I mean, the power is there. He could KO Tony on the feet, which I think is probably the likely outcome here. Honestly, I think Tony. While people are going to talk about the knockout, I think Tony's more dangerous on the ground. I think the long arms has been a problem for him for his opponents for a long time now. His ability to lock up darces and chokes from weird ankles because he has long ass arms for that weight class. But I think this fight is most likely we see Petty able to either corner him and land the big punches, and him just kind of will it because he can't take the damage and the strength he took from like he did with the Gaethje fight. That Gaethje fight completely changed him, changed everything about his. I mean, I would say that fight broke his spirit. Honestly, he has not been the same since that fight. He doesn't move as well. We're seeing the age is catching up with him. I think a lot of people talking about him training with Goggins and stuff like that as like that's a big positive. Like Goggins is not a fighter. He can teach him to have better cardio. But like, what is he going to learn from Goggins that's going to help him? So what you're telling me is that he's downgraded again from a technical coaching aspect to him having better cardio. The cardio wasn't the issue. Like you watch him when he does his little interest thing where he does the slide. He throws the elbows and slides to the left and slides to the right. There is no fluidity to that. He used to be explosive when he done it and slick with it, and now it's just like I get sad watching him do it, man. It's embarrassing. Like he is the shell of his former self. There's no easy way to put it or any other way to put it. Like El Kukui was a monster at one point, but he's almost 40 years old. That his time has passed, and he's one of them guys that's having a hard time letting it go. I feel like after this fight, if Patty does pull off the win, which he should, that Damon should have a conversation with him. Uh, I kind of went on a tangent there. I'll close it out there. So for me, I think Paddy Pimblett wins this fight. I think he's able to overwhelm him with the punches. Like I said, I don't think Tony can wear the damage anymore. So give me Paddy Pimblett. Joe, you're my co-host. You kick it off, and then we'll pass it off to Iron.
Sorry, brother. I didn't know I was unmuted there for a second. I was running some water and shit in your background, man. My bad.
Yeah, he's making all kinds of funky noises.
I know. I was shaking up a bottle of tea and shit.
Oh,
Man, my
by
bad.
the way, just throwing this out there real quick. Said Yakub Kakramanov, we've had him on the space a few times.
Yeah,
He's fighting right now on YouTube at Karate Combat 43.
Is he? Man, I got the capmma.com YouTube open, but I'm gonna jump over to that for a minute, just because I want to see him. Any old way. So Tony Ferguson, Paddy Pimblett. For me, there is a. I have. All right, so I do the Tuesday night space, which has kind of transferred just into like the talk show space, which is cool. I really like it. I like that we got multiple shows going. But as a result of that, I have talked about Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett quite a bit. They have been quite the topic. Tony Ferguson, I'm going to one-up you there, Trace. I'm going to see your why are you training with Tony Goggins or Goggins?
Don't you fucking do it, Joe.
And I'm going to raise you one. Tony Goggins is going to be his corner this weekend. Did you know that, Trace?
Tony Goggins, we got a hybrid here. No, I did not know he was cornering for the fight.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Is
Joe
that how
Rogan's
you
gonna
say his
love that
last name?
shit.
Goggins? Did I get it right, bud?
Yeah, David Goggins. Yeah,
Joe's I said Tony Goggins.
Joe's gonna be very excited about this fight because that's his homeboy,
Who's that?
David Goggins.
That's my homeboy?
No, Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah, I got you. But why the fuck is he coaching you? So that he can come to the corner and say, go out there and fight. Don't you fucking quit. Like, what else is he going to do for you except for to tell you to try to push it with more than what
He's
you
not
have?
the head coach, Joe. He's just in the corner.
He's gonna tell him to be hard.
He's gonna tell him, pain is nothing, motherfucker. Run through it.
I know. I don't see the need for it. I think Tony has benefited. I feel like everybody hates Paddy Pimblett. Everybody wants Tony Ferguson to beat him. We hear I just feel like it is one of those MMA fans are trying to will this into existence that Tony Ferguson can somehow not get knocked out by Paddy Pimblett. You guys are being and I'm not calling anybody out here. I'm just saying in general, you guys are being fucking ridiculous, dude. Paddy Pimblett is going to fucking beat the dog shit out of Tony Ferguson. Like it's gonna be bad, bro. I truly feel like not like the UFC is punishing Tony. I truly feel like Tony's like, give me another fight. Just give me another one. I don't care. I don't care that I lost 6 times. Give me another one. So the UFC's like, okay, Paddy Pimblett, bro. You want a star? You want to fight a big fight, Tony? Go fight Paddy Pimblett. Go get fucking beat up by Paddy Pimblett, bud. Go ahead. Go reclaim your glory. That's how I feel like this is. I have covered the news on it. I have covered their social media on it. I have watched all of Tony's training clips. I have watched all of Paddy's little videos that come out. I've seen all the interviews. Tony Ferguson was past his prime 5 fucking years ago and should have quit fighting. Paddy Pimblett by knockout. I'm not even questioning it. I'm only questioning the knockout and that he doesn't submit him, but Paddy Pimblett, no question for me. I'll throw it to, I don't know who was next. I'm going to go to Iron.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, I think it's made some great points so far, to be fair. I think for me, this is the most interesting fight on the card, just purely because it's hard to predict what's going to happen because they're both so unpredictable. They're both weirdos. We've never really seen Paddy fight anyone elite. I've watched Paddy since his Cage Warrior days because he's obviously from the same part of England I'm from. For me, it's a lose-lose for Paddy. I think if he wins, he's just beat a guy that's on a 6-fight skid. If he loses, he's just lost to a guy on a 6-fight skid. I would like to say I think that Paddy's probably going to submit him. I think with something weird like a flying triangle, something odd like that. So I would go Paddy submission, maybe round 2 or round 3. And I know that's not going to be popular. I know a lot of people don't like Paddy. I'm not his biggest fan, to be honest. Don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, all that kind of stuff. But I do think Tony's past that he's 40 years old, as someone mentioned earlier. Don't understand the David Goggins thing at all because cardio's never been his problem. Don't really get why he's trying to, unless he's trying to take him into deep water. However, the fight's only 3 rounds, so there's only so much deep water you can go into. So yeah, I would say Paddy submission round 2.
Just promise me if the flying triangle happens, you come back here next week and, well, there's no fight, but you find us and you fucking rub it in. You just make sure you do that.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
What's up, guys?
No, I just want to say this real quick. I don't know if y'all saw the Karate Combat weigh-in where Gabriel Stakunas decided to throw a kick at Saiji, but he might have had that fight then, but that fight's done been beat out of him. Saiji is fucking this man up on Karate Combat.
Yes, he is. We gotta all tag him after this, bro.
Cade, go ahead and then we'll pass off the pancakes and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Can you guys hear me though?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I was having like a difficulty for a second.
All right, pancakes, go ahead, bro.
Hey, man, what's up, guys? You guys hear me good? Or is that
Yeah, you're clear, man.
Okay, perfect. So with Iron Fred, I'm with Iron Fred, but I'm not doing Patty by submission, man. I'm doing Patty by KO. I'm telling you right now, Patty Pimblett is gonna knock out Tony Ferguson. I don't know why I see it. Like Patty Pimblett's got a lot of he's got a lot of things to prove from his previous fight. And you know when fighters when fighters have one bad fight, the next fight they come and show out and prove why they're the talk of the town. So I see Patty Pimblett. I keep mispronouncing that name because it's fucking annoying. Patty's gonna knock out Tony Ferguson. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I just vision it. He's gonna knock him out. That's what I got. Patty Pimblett by KO, and I think that's like a plus something. It has to be like a plus something. And I think I'm putting money on it.
Cade.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I like Patty too in this fight, obviously for the obvious reasons. But the one thing about Patty that gets me is his defense is garbage. Like he gets hit, and I think that Tony will be able to land some shots on him. I still think Patty's gonna win the fight probably. But I like Patty more like by decision though for some odd reason because it's like other than the Michael Chandler front kick, I mean Tony takes damage, bro. Like, and he got finished by Nate. So I feel like if Patty beats him, he'll submit him because I mean I think Tony could get submitted, but like Bobby Green didn't even finish Tony, and he was beating the brakes off Tony. So I mean, it's like to me, it's like Tony will sit there and take all the damage.
Like, I do like your take, Cade, but at the same time, if you look at the weigh-ins, this Patty Pimblett.
You cut out.
Oh, my bad. It said someone muted me. My bad. But I was gonna say, if you look at Patty's Pimblett weigh-ins compared to his other fights, this guy looks completely different. He looks much more ripped. He looks focused. And when you have a focused Pimblett that wants to prove the haters wrong, because you know he's had a lot of haters, a lot of things on social media over the past year that he's a bum, this and that. You know, he lost to Jaron Gordon. He's gonna go out there with that anger, and he's gonna show people why you don't, you know what I mean? He's gonna prove people wrong, and that's why I don't know why that's not a bad take for you.
Or actually, you know what, Bobby actually finish Tony?
Yeah, Bobby Green. No, but he finished Tony in like the last 5
Okay,
seconds.
so he did finish Tony. So I'm tripping. That's my fault.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't know though. I just feel like Tony can still take a lot of damage, but I do think Patty's gonna beat him. I just don't know how he's gonna beat him because honestly, he could sub him. He could probably knock him out late, and he could win the fight by decision. I think he could win the fight. He's gonna win the fight.
Hey man, yeah.
I'm just saying I don't know how. I wouldn't bet a prop on it if
As a
if it
Colby
were
fan,
me.
you expect me to say that the fight of the night for me is gonna be Colby and Leon. For me, the fight that I'm waiting for is Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. I'm really excited for that fight, man. I can't wait for that one. I think that's the people's main event because that's like two fighters who are like memes. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see these two. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. Tony Ferguson out there and Paddy Pimblett, two little weirdos out there going at it. It's gonna be a nice night tomorrow.
I appreciate the passion, boys. I'm gonna pass the mic around a little bit though. Connor, we haven't heard from you much tonight. What you got?
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
Good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna pick against Tony. It kind of feels like just wrong that we're all sort of almost forced to pick against him due to the streak. But I will say, like, one thing. I'm not like an armchair psychologist, but if Tony comes out there and starts landing on Patty like early and starting to do well, I can see maybe Patty looking at Tony like he's the Tony of old and maybe succumbing to the moment. But I'm still gonna if they get into like a dogfight, I'm gonna pick the guy that has the better chin, and that's Patty. I know Kay brought up that he's only been knocked out by Michael Chandler, but I just think as like Nate beat up on him a bit, Bobby Green beat up on him a bit, and I just think that chin's probably going to go at some point. He can only take so much, and that Justin Gaethje fight is just looming over his head how much damage he took. So I probably will take Patty by KO, but if anything, Patty by decision.
YB.
You have to take the over 1.5 in this fight, first of all. Second of all, everybody should go to capmma.com and just look at the website and see all the features. Third of all, bet the fucking draw. I know that sounds ridiculous. Bet the draw. This fight there's no way Patty is going to come out here and fucking steamroll Tony. Tony looked in really good shape on the fucking scales. I don't care. Bet the draw for like $3 and see if this shit happens. Because I don't see Patty steamrolling him. Yes, he should win the fight, obviously. There's no way you can pick Tony if you're sane, which we could argue if I am or not another day. Bet the draw. That's the only thing I see. All the other things, fuck them. I don't, like Cade said, the props here are sketchy. It's hard to nail one down because you really don't know what the hell Tony's going to do. He could come in there and have a fucking knife on him. You never know with this dude. Obviously not, but, hyperbole. But anyways, draw over 1.5 and maybe the Darth for Tony, bro. For one last ride because he's going to get kicked or he's going to get cut after this fight. Bet the Darth for fuck it. But all the others, that's what's going to happen. But the Darth is a fuck it play.
Daniel.
I disagree 1,000,000%. Patty Pimblett, in order for him to win, he needs to bring it to the ground. I'm just saying, like, you've seen how Tony knocks out people. I've always seen how Patty submits people because I've been following him since the Cage Warriors. So you're not going to tell me that he's going to win this fight by KO? No. His specialty is submission. He's a first degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Why would he not go to his bread and butter? His past his past three wins in the UFC were by Renee Choke twice. So for that, he's only going to win that way. As for Tony, look, I'm pretty sure he's going on the ground too, but I would keep it standing. And for that, I say This is Tony Ferguson's retirement fight. He's going to retire by a knockout, just like Robbie Lawler did over Nico Price. I have Tony KO round 1, and then he retires one last time.
Bold statement there,
I'll come
Daniel.
back. I'll come back to that comment because I don't know why I'm seeing Patty knocking him out. Patty already knocked out someone in his debut, so Patty doesn't have that knockout power, but he can knock out some people. So if he can knock out, he's gonna knock out Tony Ferguson. So I hope you're here the next time this space opens, so I can rub it in your face. Respectfully,
Unfortunately, we don't always see the happy endings for the old goats that we'd like to see. Robbie Lawler was more or less an anomaly nowadays because it seems like more often than not the retirement fight, even when it seems like they're fighting somebody that they should be able to beat pretty easily, doesn't seem to go very well for him. But I would love to see Tony get a knockout here. Trust me, I'm not no big Patty fan. Like I don't dislike the guy. I just don't think he's as good as people believe he is. I think the fate is definitely coming for sure. I just don't know that it's here. Uh, I get why people would be on Tony. I wanted to bet the KO here, but because like I said, Patty doesn't move his head when he starts throwing the combos. So the counter is there. I just don't think that the guy that we see in the cage tomorrow night is the same guy that we saw, pre-COVID, and he admits to himself, So yeah,
Oh, hey, Kappa, one more thing. So, who is this guy we're talking about? His supposed new trainer, Tony. What's his name?
David Goggins.
There, God, yeah. And who exactly is this guy? I'm seriously asking. Who is
So
he?
he's ex military. That is pretty. Like he's pretty famous for basically just being able to push himself to extreme limits in training. Uh, his feet are all fucked up. His feet are all fucked up from running like crazy amounts of miles at a time. He's just what he is. He's a guy that has mental problems that has been able to push himself past normal people's breaking limits because of that mental issue, and he's celebrated for it. So I mean,
Yeah.
we could all use a little more of David Goggins in it for sure.
The man was
So he's
300
basically
pounds.
just a.
Hands up, boys. We don't talk over everybody one at a time. So, uh, Connor and Iron's had his hand up for a while. We'll go to Connor or to Iron, and then we'll go to Connor. If you got to take, make sure you get your hands up, guys.
Yeah, I just want to comment on. I think Young Boy is one that said it in terms of Tony looking good on the scales and maybe like his sort of being in peak condition. He does. I think he does look good. I'm not really much to comment on the David Goggins stuff because, and honestly, I think that's probably a detriment if anything. But I think Tony's always in good shape. I don't remember Tony coming in maybe unmotivated, especially like conditioning wise. So I don't
Yeah,
think we have to worry about that.
yeah. Like I said, for me, the whole thing was like people are like, oh well, he's gonna come in and cardio. His cardio is gonna be fantastic. His cardio is not the issue. He's been through wars and he's accumulated damage. He's not a young guy anymore and he's not explosive anymore. It's got nothing to do with the cardio. And like I said, you're not gonna go to David Goggins to improve your fight game. He's not this fighting expert. He's not like this isn't some Bruce Lee shit. He might come in with good cardio, but cardio is not the issue here. Iron, what you got, brother?
Yeah, it's only a quick one. It's just to jump on the back of what Daniel was saying. But yeah, I think one thing that people don't realise is Paddy's ground game is phenomenal. That is his bread and butter. So I think while he has one fight in the UFC by TKO, his ground game is absolutely phenomenal. So I think that's why I picked a submission personally, just because I think people don't realise quite how good he is on the ground. That's all I would say anyway.
I'm going KO mostly because I just think Tony can't take the shot anymore. I'm very well aware that for the rise for Patty, like I knew who he was pre UFC. Yeah, he's a submission guy, but it's also like Charles Oliveira had trouble submitting this man, had him in an armbar. I mean, Tony's not going to tap. Granted, it wasn't a choke, but you know, Tony's not this guy that's easily submitted. But Father Time catches up to us all as well as Damage catches up to everyone. I just don't think he can take the shot anymore. But I don't hate the sub prop either. Bald guy, fresh face. What you got on this fight, man?
Yeah, just kind of building off what you guys said. I actually disagree with most of you. I don't see a KO in this fight unless Tony just gets caught. You know, if his chin is gone, his chin is gone. But I don't see Patty knocking him out. I still think Tony's got the skills. I just think he's got a weak chin right now. I don't see Patty knocking him out. And I don't see him submitting him. I don't necessarily see Tony winning the fight either. But I think this could be this potentially, if it goes to the ground, could be a fight of the night type of a fight. Sorry about that. But yeah, I see it being a fight of the night type thing because these guys are both popular in their own way. Obviously, Patty lost a little bit when he sided with Dana, but that didn't bother me at all. I still like both these fighters, and I can't wait to watch the fight.
Dead picks, then we'll let Joe close it out.
Yeah, so these Tony fights, you know, if you guys been around the space, you guys know that these Tony fights mean a lot to me. I mean, anytime the fucking guy walks out, you know, I'm blasting the fucking speakers. I'm fucking had all the lights going crazy, you know. Like, this guy got me into MMA, essentially, you know. Like, I started off with him, then I worked my way to the Diaz Bros, and the rest was history. So it's like, you know, anytime I watch Tony fight, anytime, you know, I see anything that he does, it's like, fuck yeah.
You're cutting out there, Dead.
Oh. Yeah. So, anyways, fuck, man. It's I just don't see an upside for Tony here, bro. Like, there's just no upside. The guy's gonna fucking lose. It's gonna be a fucking burial, you know. Like, I'm tired of like all these MMA bros like trying to fucking find a way for him to win. You know how someone said earlier in the chat, like, shake it into existence. It's just not gonna happen.
Yo, Dead, come closer to your mic, brother.
Just bet fucking Patty sub.
Hey, I heard everything you said though. Hey, shout out to Dead. He's kind of our producer, our video production guy, man. He's got us live on YouTube right now. We ain't got nobody listening really yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So you seen the W for Said Jacob?
Oh yeah, second round TKO, I think it was.
Yeah, I just tweeted to him, congratulating him from the team, bro. And then Jake Paul won by KO round 1.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like 30 seconds left in the round, he dropped the dude. The stream glitched. It looks like he's kind of getting him. The stream glitched and the dude was laid out. Not lying to you. That's how it went for me.
Jake Paul, pointless to talk about. Let's not talk about Jake Paul. We don't want to tell you.
How did you watch that fight on what stream?
I don't know, the one that I got in my inbox.
But is it a pretty okay stream? I mean, it's not
like the most legitest place ever. It gives me everything all the time. I'll DM you later.
Sounds good.
All right, Iron Fred, real quick on this one, then we'll move on to the next fight.
Yeah, it's only a quick one. How do you guys get most of your MMA content and stuff? Is it easy to stream fights over there and stuff? Because it's like mega easy in the UK. We have a thing, you know, Amazon Fire Stick, and we pay £50 for the entire year, and you get like every single pay-per-view, just everything really. So, just out of curiosity, how easy is it to stream fights?
I'm just saying I might know a thing or two about a Fire Stick. That's all I'm going to say.
Good
I'm
man.
going to say if you got an iPad and a good link, I mean, I just, yep.
Yeah, your pay-per-view costs are mental, aren't they? How much they charge over there?
Yeah, but I'll be honest. I pay for most of the UFC pay-per-views. I support the fighters. I support the company. You can't bitch about fighter pay if you're not paying for fights. So I pay for most of the pay-per-views, and I don't actually bitch about it.
I watch it on Discord, all of them.
Andrew, I'm about to open this fight up, Andrew, and I'm kicking it to you. So get ready for that. Next fight we have is Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Shavkat is 6'1" with a 77-inch reach versus the 6 foot, 75-inch reach Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is almost 41 years old, fighting the 29-year-old Kazakhstanian. So Andrew, what do you got on this fight, my man?
You trying to be funny, bro? You trying to make
Come
this
on,
a joke?
I was picking an easy one for you.
Oh man, this is It's been a hard last couple weeks for me, man. Usually I'm a pretty objective fan, but when you get a couple of my favorite fighters in a row and they're facing young bucks and they're getting their asses destroyed, it's a little hard to watch. So last week it was Lionheart, and this week, unfortunately, it's going to be my guy Wonder Boy. Don't get me wrong, as a fan, I'm rooting for him. I hope he somehow pulls it off and wins. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have that one punch knockout power. He doesn't have it. And he can't defend a takedown. He can't defend a takedown. Shavkat's nice. He hasn't fought in a while. Maybe people forgot. But this is going to be a rollover fight, and I'm really fucking sad. But because he's a grappler, I don't have to worry about him, actually getting his ass kicked, like Anthony Smith did. But unfortunately, he's going to get ragdolled, and I just unfortunately can't see any other outcome. So, yeah, nothing too impressive for me. Just exactly what I observed. So that's what I got.
Can I say this though? Like, while this fight stays on the feet, Wonder Boy is going to fuck him up on the feet. Like, he has no head movement, man. Like, the amount of damage. I mean, granted, I don't think Wonder Boy can knock him out. We've seen that through Jeff Neal. Like, the man can take some punches, man. Like, he was getting this shit beat out of him on the feet until like getting hit with bombs. But dude's got a iron chin. I mean, granted, he may come into this fight and the chin may not be there. A precise punch is different than just a big wound up power punch. Like, Wonder Boy's got nasty kicks. We haven't seen him in a while, but like, he has those tricky kicks, and Shavkat's there to be hit. But I don't really think this fight goes. I'm not gonna lie. The plus 1,600 KO prop for Stephen Thompson kind of interests me, but I don't know that I'll get to it. I don't think I'll sprinkle it. I do think Shavkat wins this fight, most likely via decision. Shavkat can be had at plus 275 via points on Bet Online. I don't think he gets Wonder Boy out of there. Wonder Boy's proven to be tough to get out throughout his entire career. Outside of, I think it was just, if off the top of my head, I think the only person that's finished him is oddly Anthony Pettis, which not a good look, but yeah, man, I think Shavkat should win this fight via decision, but I would not be surprised if one of the many punches that he gets hit with while it stays standing, if it stays standing, clips him, hurts him, but I don't think he's got the power to put him away anymore. So, yeah, give me Shavkat via decision. Let's see, Joe, what do you got on this fight, man? Go to the host first, and then we'll get it out.
To be honest, I'm gonna echo exactly what you said. I hope Stephen Thompson comes out and throws a fucking karate kick to the face and knocks him out. But once it goes past that point and the kick lands or miss, Shavkat fucking mauls him. I don't think he gets him out of there. I was actually looking for something you said to see if that is the only time he's been. Yeah, he has only been submitted. He's never been submitted. No one's ever submitted him.
No, he's only been knocked out by Anthony Pettis.
Yeah, no.
It was that weird Superman punch off the cage, if I remember correctly.
In a fight, he was winning the entire time, and
it was piecing him up
got caught.
Yeah, that was the Wheaties fight, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I don't think he gets him out of there. At plus 1,600, if you're a person who scatters bets for profit, I guess you almost got to hit that for like a baby piece of a unit or something. But there's no money to be made on this fight unless Stephen Thompson.
Honestly, you could just take this KO prop, but I think if the KO was to come, it would come later with a tired Shavkat from if Wonder Boy is able to stuff the takedowns. I mean, like I said, he's hittable on a good gas tank. I think if Steven, I disagree with whoever said that the takedown defense isn't really there. I think it was Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. Woodley, when Prime Woodley had trouble getting him down off the cage. So, I know for sure, at least in the clinch position, he has good clinch takedown defense. I don't know about open field blast doubles, but yeah, I don't hate the KO prop late either. I think it's more likely to come late than it is to come early.
Do you think that Shavkat is a better grappler than Bilal Muhammad?
Jiu-jitsu.
I think better
Yes.
grappler. Yes, I think he is. I think it's mostly that Bilal's cardio is what he kills people with.
Bilal's
Cardio
a
is the
better
enemy.
wrestler. Shavkat has better jiu-jitsu, in my opinion.
So Bilal took Wonder Boy down 7 times. Do you think that he's as good of a takedown artist as Bilal?
Well, Gilbert also took him down, and so did Kevin Holland.
Yeah, but it
If
was like
Kevin
2
Holland
times,
is taking
3
you
times.
down, Shavkat's going to take you down. Shavkat's free money, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at there, bro. Is he most likely just fucking crawls on top of him and humps him? I don't want to kill it though. Let some people get on there. I don't know who was first. I haven't heard from Connor much. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, real quick before I clock back into work. I agree. I think it's Shafkat. I do think Bilal is probably the better all-around grappler, but I do think Shafkat has better submission skills at least. But yeah, but Shafkat also has he uses good trips and whatnot, like good throws. So I think if he wants to get it to the ground, I think he can get it down. He can get Wonder Boy down free. So I think it's probably Shafkat. I don't know if he'll finish him because, like we've said, that Pettis is the only person that's finished Wonder Boy, and that's pretty impressive given how, and who Wonder Boy has fought throughout his UFC career. But Shafkat's a freaking dog. I think he won't get beat up on the feet as well. I know somebody said that he didn't get beat up on the feet. I think he's going to give it to Wonder Boy as well. But Wonder Boy will definitely have success on the feet. But I still think it's Shafkat.
YB.
Shavkat, round 1 TKO.
Damn.
Just for the record, I have to make a defense for Wonder Boy because he is my wife's favorite fighter. So I'm just giving a breakdown for each side. If you're on one side, hopefully I help you. If not, I just try to be fair. A little argument goes a long way on these fights. Daniel.
I'll be honest with y'all. I was going with Wonder Boy all the way, but then on Monday I learned that Shafkat trains with Killcliff, and I got family in Florida, so I immediately changed my pick. And not only that, I'm glad I am because here's why. Nomad, he has 9 wins by submission. Wonder Boy's never been submitted, so I see Nomad giving Wonder Boy his first ever submission loss. He's going to immediately go to the ground, and I also see his fight ending round 1 submission by Nomad. The only way, if it goes their way, is Wonder Boy keeps it standing. Even though the man's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, yeah, I'd say keep it staying for Wonder Boy. But as for pick, I got Nomad submission round 1.
Seems like a lot of people are expecting to finish here, man. I don't feel like Wonder Boy's the easy guy to get out of there, but like I said, Father Time spares no man. Cade, what do you got?
Yeah, I also want to bring up the fact that when Wonder Boy was supposed to fight Michelle Pereira, and that fight didn't happen, he bitched about his money and all this bullshit. And this is his fucking punishment. Dana was like, "All right, motherfucker, you want to talk your shit? You get to fight fucking Shavkat." I think this
I
fight's set up for
remember.
Shavkat to whip his ass, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I just feel like that's what this is about.
Go ahead,
I
Daniel.
remember, Kate. I remember. I'm laughing my ass off. I remember.
I'll one up you, Cade. I believe he did an interview where he said that they offered to, so they weren't going to give him any money for last time. And then he said that his manager worked out a deal. If he took the Shavkat fight, he'll get his pay this time and he'll get his back pay. That's real. He did an interview saying that.
All right, so I think everybody got their take in on that one, so we'll move on to the next fight of the night, which is the co-main event. And it's going to be a banger for as long as this fight goes, man. We have Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. The Cannibal is 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. Brandon Raw Dog Royval is 5'9" with a 70.5-inch reach. So Royval does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Uh, this is the second fight between these two. The first fight, Pantoja won by submission. Okay, kick it off for us, man.
Oh, we know most men don't like to wear condoms. We like to raw dog that shit. Give me Brandon Royval, raw dog, my guy by knockout. Let me tell you, it's Brandon Royval's time, bro. Like, he doesn't have the best takedown defense. I know if Pantoja gets him down, it doesn't favor him, but Royval is just, that fucker is an exciting fighter. He comes in there, he gets in your face, he throws them hands, and I can see him clipping Pantoja, bro. Am I betting it? I don't know. I haven't fucking decided. I don't think so, bro. But Brandon Royval, that's the side here, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna get it done and new, baby. Let's go.
Somebody needs to throw up that meme, the unnecessary horniness 15 yards meme on this post for K, man. He's out here being nasty, talking about dudes raw dog and shit. Daniel, what do you got on this fight, man?
First of all, look, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Sexy Red, because she calls herself the raw dog, the raw queen. That's why I don't like her. The safe sex is the best sex. Back to the fight. I have Pantoja because this is their second this is their second fight, and from what we learned from the history books, especially from his last fight, he already beat Morano 2 times, and he took the belt from him. But I do agree with K on this. If Royal wins, it's going to be by a KO. I don't see this man. He's not stupid enough to go to the ground with Pantoja. I mean, because I'm not going to compare this fight to like what Rushamir House did with Alan Belcher. Alan Belcher played his game just to prove a point, and they TKO'd him, but he wasn't going for submission. But Pantoja, he really lives by his name, the Cannibal. He's always going for the stoppage. He's always like trying, and if he's not, then he gets a unanimous or split decision. Do I see this fight going to later rounds? I do not. I see it the latest round 3. Pantoja submission round 3, and hell by a rear naked choke.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, man. I think neither one of these dudes really have the best cardio, but Roy Val seems to go really hard at it in the first rounds and kind of fizzles out there. I think it's going to be a very competitive first couple rounds if he gets that far. Pantoja's also struggled with his cardio a bit in the past, but I like to think that the Moreno fight, he kind of fixed a few things to make sure that he could go the 5 rounds, and I'm hoping he has continued to work on his cardio. But we do know that's one thing that it's not something that's just fixed overnight. It takes a long time to work on. But I do think the fight, long as this fight goes, I think of the two, Pantoja does edge the cardio, and I wouldn't be surprised by a round 3 or 4 finish, whether it's KO or submission. I'm gonna get the pulled up because I would like to actually look for myself because I might place a bet. Um, I would probably place the bet on FanDuel if I was going to place it because you can group rounds on there. Like you can do the rounds 3, 4, or 5 KO or round 3, 4, 5 submission, and you usually get pretty good lines on them. But for right now, let's just look at Pantoja round 4. Um, so Pantoja round 4 is plus 12, plus 1,000. So yeah, I don't hate sprinkling the rounds in this fight, the later rounds specifically. I do think Pantoja could finish via KO, could finish via submission. Probably more likely to finish via submission, as I don't think I don't think Pantoja is the only person that's beaten him by submission in the past. I may be wrong. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but yeah, for me, I think Pantoja's the side, but I don't hate anybody betting the Royval side. I think if you bet Royval, though, you have to take the inside the distance. I don't think he's going to have the cardio. I don't think really either of these guys have the cardio to go 5 rounds, but I think he burns through the gas tank a little bit quicker than Pantoja does. White boy, YB, what you got?
Here's kind of, I don't know, detour, I guess, in a way, but for tomorrow's fights, just as far as parlays go, it's going to be a card where all of the favorites are going to win up until the last 3 fights. That's where things are going to get wonky, right? So one of my lays tomorrow is going to be all favorites and then dogs in the last 3, because there's too many little trends going for like this and that, and there's like, I don't know if there's too much. Like, I could build you a wall of stupid posters, like that one meme from Sunny in Philadelphia where he's got the wall covered in random stuff. I could do that for you on this card, but that's what you got to do with this card. And the parlays period, instead of, because I do like the all favorites, but you have to do all favorites in the last 3, and then DraftKings will throw up a little signal at the end of the fights, like, oh, if you bet $100 on da 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 da, you would have won blah blah blah. Because there's big dog chances in the last 3 fights specifically. I don't think before that, obviously Tony's gonna die and stuff, so it's whatever, and Wonder Boy's gonna die, but yeah, just that's my piece on that. And Royval is that guy. I loved his last fight. That dude's a fucking animal. So yeah. Sorry to rant.
Oh, you're good, brother, man. I appreciate you giving the take on it. Anybody else have anything on this fight? Andrew, you got a take on this fight, brother?
Dude, this fight has me torn.
I got you, Vinny, next. We'll pass the video when you're done, Andrew.
I just feel like this is such a 50-50 fight that I'm not even going to try and bet it. I'm just going to sit back and watch it. For the division's sake, I would like to see Pantoja win, just because I know this division has a history of like the title just going from one person to another. But I don't know, man. All the buzz seems to be around Royval. I don't know if that's because people really like him or if people just don't like Pantoja, but I don't know, man. I think this is going to be a really fun fucking fight. I'm just going to be excited for this one as a fan, man.
Vinny, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, I this is one of those fights that I kind of lean Pantoja, but I also like Royval. Now, Royval, like you said, it got no cardio, and I disagree with you as far as Pantoja having a cardio. I mean, that last fight he had against Moreno, I love Pantoja, man. Pantoja just came out of nowhere and fucking knocked the shit out of and he didn't go down. And I think that he's a dog. I think Pantoja is gonna fucking kick his ass, man. I'm definitely leaning towards Pantoja now. I don't think Royval is gonna be able to even stand with him. I I love Pantoja, man. He won me in the last fight, and I think he's getting his momentum going. He's got he had his whole family in the ring last time he was there, or when he won the belt. The guy seems like he's very humble, and I love the way he works. He works hard, so I don't see why he would stop for this fight. I think he's gonna keep going, and he's gonna keep his belt.
Vinny, I'm a little upset with you, man. You were always standing up for your Mexican brothers, but you're feeling a little bit like you're Brazilian now. You speak Portuguese now too? What's up? No, he's having connection issues. Bad
He
guy
said
or
that
bald
wasn't
guy, go ahead
funny.
and take over for me.
Yeah, I got Royval by knockout, 3rd round, via Hadouken.
All right. Trace, you there?
Yeah, I see Vinny trying to request. I was trying to pass him, put him through, but he just keeps disappearing. We'll go ahead and move on to the main event then. If nobody else has a take on this fight, we'll get Vinny on the mic whenever we can. But we'll move on from this fight for now. Main event of the evening. I expect some fireworks in this fight. I feel like this fight's going to be very split, and I'm very excited to hear arguments for each side. So don't be shy if you got a tape, man. I want to hear it. We have the champ, Leon Rocky Edwards, fighting Colby Chaos Covington. Leon Edwards is 6'2" with a 74-inch reach, 32 years of age, versus the 35-year-old, 5'11", 72-inch reach, Colby Chaos Covington. So Leon has a 3-inch height and a 2-inch reach advantage. That's a lot of fucking hands I see up. So I'm going to just go down the line. Joe, kick it off for us and then pass it off to Andrew.
I'm Team Kobe, man. I want him to get the W. I am. So I'll be honest though, I'm not like overly invested in Kobe as a fan. I'm not like I don't know how to explain it any better than that. I'm not overly invested in him as a fan. Um, I'm on him to win. I think he is better. I think his pace will matter. I do worry about the fact that he's 35. I do worry about the fact that it's been almost 2 years since he's fought. Um, but I don't know. If he's improved anywhere, if he's taking his training seriously, I think he will wear Leon down. Plus, I've been very vocal in the Tuesday spaces, man. I want Kobe and Strickland as champions at the same time, at the same presser. So bad. I can't stand it. So that is why I want them, or want him to win wholeheartedly. Cade, go ahead.
Yeah, I like Colby too. I think Colby's I think he's the side here. I think I think he's gonna be in Leon's face from start to finish, and he's gonna keep going for takedowns until he gets them. That's how he is. He's relentless. His cardio is really good, and yeah, man, I think Colby gets it done. I think if Leon beats Colby, um, he'll probably have to knock him out. I don't know if Leon will beat Colby in a decision type of fight because those typically favor Colby style. So I think Colby would have to knock him out. Or I'm sorry, Leon would have to knock him out. And also, I just want to mention too, what Colby said at the presser. I thought it was a little bit low, but I'll say that the way Leon reacted, that proved that Colby's in his head. And the fact that he brought it up today after the ceremonial weigh-ins tells me that he's been thinking about it. So now I know Colby's in his head, and I don't know if that's a good thing coming into the fight on Saturday. Because if he's trying to come in there and kill Colby Covington, he's going to end up on his back.
Yeah, and what happens if they walk out, they exchange a minute or two or three, and Kobe throws a shot at his dad again, right out there in the octagon, and Leon gets all mad and overcommits to something. Um, that's a sharp take, Kate. I didn't mean to jump in front of everybody again. That's pretty sharp take, Kate. Andrew, go ahead.
Hold up. Connor, I know you're at work. If you're able to speak on this, 'cause I see you throwing a lot of thumbs down. I want the argument from the other side. So if you're able to speak, get your hand up, man. I want to hear it. Andrew, go ahead, brother.
So it's funny because Joe was mentioning like how he wants this Colby Covington, Sean Strickland press conference, and he did mention it on a Tuesday space. And I told him, I'm like, obviously I don't really want to see that fight, but that press conference would be hilarious. However, I've changed my mind because after watching today's press conference, or not the press conference, it was like, I don't remember what they called it, but they basically interviewed the Sean Dricus fight, the
So
Sean O'Malley fight. Yeah, I don't know
first
what the
quarter
fuck it was
presser.
called.
That's your first quarter presser. I don't know what they call it, but that's your first quarter presser of the year next year.
Yeah, it was good, but check this, right? Like, Sean has always been the guy to say just some really wacky shit. Well, Dricus got under his skin incredibly easily, and it showed, like, very obviously. So my thing is like, okay, well, if Dricus can get in his fucking head, what the hell do you think Colby's gonna do? But about this fight, I do have Leon. I just feel like the writing is on the wall for Colby. Joe had already mentioned him being 35 years old now. He's been out for 2 years. I would like to think that he worked on his stand up and maybe just refining his game a little bit. But I can't assume that. I have to go off of who he's been for his entire fucking career. And who he is not a very good striker at all. He's got no strength in his hands. He likes to get hit when he's on the feet. What does he do? He's a wrestler. He likes to push the pressure, and he uses his cardio to do that for rounds at a time. He's very good at racking up control time. That's how he wins his fights. That's how he's always won his fights. So it's like we can't sit here and pretend we don't know who this guy is. The one thing I will say, Kate just mentioned, Leon, or getting under Leon's skin. I'm not going to lie, I'm a tad bit worried about that, but he's a professional. He's been around for a while. The man hasn't lost a fight in, I think, like a fucking decade or something. He's too quick. He's too fast. He's going to defend those takedowns. Once he defends those takedowns, Colby's going to be lost. I think at some point, Leon is going to put him out. And honestly, I think Colby is very rich right now. He's very, very rich. He's been off for 2 years. I don't know how hard he's been training. Maybe he's been training his ass off. Maybe he hasn't been training at all. What I'm saying is this is his last crack at a title. And if he doesn't win, I don't see any purpose for him fighting. He's not going to fight these up and comers. He may take like a big money fight or two, but I just don't see it. I feel like once he realizes he doesn't have the belt, he's going to retire. So I'm calling on Leon to finish him tomorrow, and Colby will eventually retire.
Solid take there, Andrew. If you don't mind, check your DMs for me, brother, and then get back to me. For me, the one thing I want to just note that people aren't talking about, it seems like, is, and I actually did see somebody post it in the group chat. I don't know who it is. If anybody does remember, make sure to drop the name for me so I can give them credit for it, because I completely agree with them. Colby is a different style of wrestler than Usman is. Usman is a power style wrestler. He is, I'm going to bully you. I'm going to push you up against the fence. I'm going to overpower you. Colby is more of a technical wrestler where he cuts the angles to complete the takedowns. He's not just going to try to overpower you. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot again. He's going to change the angle. He's going to change the way he's driving you. He's going to turn you. He's going to twist you. He's going to do what he can to get you down. He's not just going to try to bulldoze you. That is the big difference between this fight. And we will find out if Leon can stop that style of wrestler, because we don't know. This is like I said, while it is another wrestler, it's a completely different style of wrestler. I do think Colby is going to be able to get the takedowns. It's more or less, is he able to get them often enough to stop the exchanging on the feet? I have seen some people saying that they think the head kick's coming. I hate to tell you, Leon Edwards, while he did have that knockout over Kamaru, that's not who he is. He's a decision guy. He's not coming out there and just knocking guys out. Most of his wins in the UFC are decisions. He's not this potent killer of a striker. I mean, he is very technical. He's very nice on the feet, but he's not this powerhouse. I'm gonna finish you if I get the chance every fight. And Colby is nothing if not tough. He's durable. Um, I do have a 4-unit bet on Colby Covington to win this fight. I think he does win. I think he wins a decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish in this fight, because realistically, neither one of these guys are really potent finishers. So give me the guy that I know that can go a hard 25 rounds, or 25 rounds, 25 minutes, versus the guy that, while I do know he can go 5 rounds, I just think he's gonna have a lot more trouble with the wrestling this time than he did with Usman. But like I said, I've went back and forth in this fight, so I understand both sides of this fight. Connor's over there hating life right now. I'm sorry, brother. But my money versus your money, I'm choosing my money, my man. So let's go, Colby. While I do hate the shit that he said at the presser, especially the Wonder Boy Thompson's pedophile accusations. That was, like, to me, that's far worse than the mentioning the dead father. To me, that's, you don't call somebody a pedophile. That's fucking terrible shit to say about somebody. But yeah, I would not hate seeing Colby get knocked out. I would just hate it from my bankroll perspective. Pancakes, what you got on this fight? All right, Pancakes isn't here. Daniel, go ahead.
I'm here.
Oh, all right, go ahead, Pancakes.
How can you start off this Colby Covington main event without Pancakes, without Chaos himself, Chaos Jets himself, man? So let's get started with this fight. You know who I'm gonna pick, and it's not a biased take. you guys already said it. You know, Colby Covington is in his head. And we already know how fighters are when they fight emotional. For example, Jorge Masvidal, look at him. He fought emotional, and look what happened. He got 50-45, you know. So if this fight's going to go to decision, Colby Covington money line. Colby Covington money line has never been better because as today you can see that Colby Covington was I'm not Colby Covington. Leon Edwards was emotional. He was emotional today because he mentioned up the dead father. That he's gonna kill him tomorrow. Blah blah blah. But you know, I don't condone that thing. I don't condone
Send
what
him
Kobe
the
said.
seventh layer of hair.
I don't condone what Kobe said. You know, I feel, when I was watching that live, I was kind of fucked up. But at the same time, it's kind of smart on his part because that's a strategic move. You know, at the end of the day, you know, he wants to get in his head, and he accomplished that. So what I think is going to happen, I think Kobe's going to win by decision, and this is the outcome. Ready? Can I tell you what's going to happen after in the post fight interview? This is perfect.
I
Kobe
wish you
Covington,
would.
Kobe Covington's going to call out Kamaru Usman for the trilogy, and we all know that Bilal Muhammad deserves that title shot. You know, I met Bilal Muhammad in person. He's a really respectful, nice guy. He's awesome, and he deserves that title shot. But let's be real. Colby Covington's going to call out Kamaru Usman for that trilogy fight. And then on that same card, you're going to have Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, too. That's what I think is going to happen personally for me.
I just don't see the allure of a third fight between the two. It's been 2-0 Kamaru.
Me neither. Me neither.
And then
But
also you have him coming off of a multiple fight losing streak. What is he 0-3 in his last three?
the
Yeah, I
thing is,
mean,
you can argue in those fights. Like for example, that first fight was really close. Like first fight, I thought Kobe won before he got knocked. If he didn't get TKO'd at the end of the round, he won that fight. He won that fight, but he lost. He lost in the final round.
I agree with you on
And
that.
then MSG, I was there at MSG live, and besides those two knockdowns that Kamaru got, Colby Covington, I won't say dominated, but I was sitting next to a guy, and he said that Vegas had Colby winning the fight. So those fights were pretty close. It wasn't like a one sided fight, and I really do enjoy. Like we took Kamaru Usman for granted when he was champion. Let's be real. Like I really, that's what I think is gonna happen. I think Colby's still salty over those two losses, and I think he's going to call out Kamaru Usman for that trilogy fight. And then you got Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards, who were supposed to schedule, like we're supposed to fight. You know, why not make that fight on that same card?
We will see, man. I don't know. I don't know about, at least outside of a betting standpoint. I don't know that I want Colby to win, man. I feel pretty grimy after that press conference. But we'll move on. Joe, Daniel? What do you got on this fight, my man?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this too, but I'm sticking with Kobe. Yes, I do. I also do not condone calling Wonder Boy a pedophile. The man's beloved. Like he made that bus himself. Like he goes to the kids' homes who can't afford to get themselves to martial arts. I mean, I wish I had that growing up, man. I'm telling you, having like you own this, you create a bus specifically for your students who can't get themselves to practice. You don't say that to someone who gives back to their community. Not only that, this isn't the first time he used I hope you're watching from hell. He did say that to Usman about his wrestling coach. Was also ironic the fact that he got in Usman's head, but he beat him twice for it. So it would this will be weird. Like I do believe he is in his head. He got a reaction out of it. Well, again, I don't condone this, but I'm still sticking with Covington on this. You want to
The
go
thing,
with? You
the
want
thing.
to go? What? I'm
My
sorry.
bad. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. I thought you were finished.
Okay. As I was saying, you want to talk about who beat who? I mean, they both have beaten Dos Anjos by unanimous decision, and both have beaten Brian Barberina. But you want to talk about in terms of how they won the belt? I mean, Leon won his belt by a head kick, and Covington won his belt by smothering Dos Anjos. But again, they both beat them. And you want to talk about former champions? Covington beat Lawler and Woodley, the famous meme. My rib, my rib. Which I still laugh this very day. Sometimes I just go to that clip just to laugh my ass off after I was crying or whatever. My rib. Okay. As for the finish, I see his fight going to round 4, submission by an arm triangle choke from Covington. He's going to submit Leon Edwards. But if Leon Edwards wins, he's going to say, I won Balil. But if Covington wins, you know what? This is going to piss me off, but he probably will say, hey, Usman, let's do this one more time, Daddy. As he would say.
Bro, Daniel, you got my boy Connor J in here so mad right now. I've never seen so many fucking emojis from the guy. Joe, what do you got on this fight, dude?
Man, so I heard some people talk about Leon stuff in the takedown. I just want to be very clear about something. Colby Covington has taken everybody but Kamaru Usman down. Colby Covington has the 10th most takedowns landed in UFC history. Colby Covington has the 9th most control time in UFC history. Leon will not be big enough to prevent any of that. And even if he is, Colby Covington outstrikes everybody. And you can say, oh, no, all those strikes and his stats are on the ground. No, they're not. Go look. No, they're not. Go look. Look at every single fucking fight, because no, they're not. Colby Covington is sick on the feet. He just don't have power. And if you're going to tell me that, oh, well, that don't equate, well, then quit sucking Max Holloway's dick. Because Max Holloway ain't never knocked nobody out, and everybody sucks that guy's dick. He fucking sucks. Everybody sucks that guy's dick. Colby Covington is at least as good a striker as Max Holloway is in his peak. So, it's Colby Covington, bros.
Yo, I know you're not comparing Max as a striker versus Colby Covington as a striker. That's rich.
Go watch the Robbie Lawler fight, bro. If he wants, go watch the Marty Usman fights, bro. Go watch them. If he don't want to go to the floor, if he don't want to go to the floor and he wants to stand up and beat you up, it's not a problem for him.
Hey man, yeah, I just want to go back to that Wonder Boy thing. I feel like, yeah, what he said to Wonder Boy, like that's kind of fucked up too, because Wonder Boy is like helping the community out, taking these kids. Let's say like these kids don't have like parents that can drop them off to the karate studio. Like Wonder Boy's doing good for the community, and for Kobe to say that he's a pedophile, I think he can catch a lawsuit if I'm not mistaken. He called Thompson a pedophile publicly live. So, but
Defamation slander, you're correct.
yeah, yes, he can definitely catch a lawsuit when I was watching that. But and in fairness, I just want to go back to that argument, Colby. I feel like we all agree, right? Colby's gonna win. Like it's like, let's be real, like Leon. Who has Leon beat? What's Leon's resume?
Connor just threw his phone.
Leon wants to talk shit about Kobe's resume. Leon wants to talk shit about Kobe's resume. Who has Leon fought besides what's his name? These are Nate Diaz and who else? I forget.
Dos Anjos.
Dos Anjos. Wait,
What about Usman?
like who has Leon fought? No, and let's be grateful. Like Leon should be grateful that Masvidal backed out that fight. It was it 269 card? Because Masvidal would have pieced him up on the feet. So I feel like Leon should be grateful, and Leon should also be grateful that that eye poke, even though he was piecing up Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, don't forget that he cheated to get out of that Bilal fight.
He was piecing him up anyways. Let's be
real. He cheated to get out of the fight.
He was piecing up Bilal Muhammad. I ain't gonna lie. Even if like I got a Bilal Muhammad signed card, so I do like Bilal Muhammad. He's actually a nice guy, but Bilal Muhammad was getting pieced up in that fight.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and jump in there and say, no, Bilal Muhammad fucking sucks. Being a Bilal Muhammad fan fucking sucks. He's non-interactive with people. He's a dick when he is. When you meet him in person, he stares at you like a deer in the headlights, and you're like, bro, do you know you're here to meet people? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't fuck Bilal Muhammad. I don't fuck him. And I was a fan, bro. I've gone against 18 people in the space telling me, fuck Bilal, you're his only fan in the world, you and Usman. Well, now it's just Usman. Fuck Bilal. I met him twice. He's been a fucking dildo twice.
Who the fuck is Colby Covington, man? You guys are really betting on Colby Covington?
And new. And new. That's who he is. And new.
Come on, man. Who the fuck takes you? I just don't understand. Masvidal whipped his ass in the streets, and he fucking put a lawsuit on him, or fucking accused him. And who the fuck does that?
Listen, bro, I don't support the lawsuit. I don't support most of the shit he says. But I'm gonna be honest. Most of Colby's life is a gimmick, bro. He's working to be famous. Him and George got a deep history. The shit they said about each other and did to
I
each
love
other,
it. It was
both ways, bro. The shit they said to each other and did to each other both ways. Neither one of them should really cry about any of it. And George's supposed to be a fighter. How you gonna sucker punch somebody after they beat you in a fight? It's kind of a bitch move. Like, man, he whooped my ass. I'm gonna go over there and sucker punch him now. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, the fuck out of here. Street King my dick.
The only thing that like bothers me about this whole thing with the press conference is like, yes, while on a moral code, you probably shouldn't say those things, but dude, I just don't understand how people can watch a grown man take another like grown man's body and make it become unconscious. Or you could break a limb or bust someone's fucking face open and no one bats an eyelash. But the minute someone wants to say a couple names or make a couple comments and everyone wants to get their panties balled up in a bunch. Look, I'm not a big Colby guy, but I also understand the angle that he's working. And I also understand he doesn't mean any of the fucking shit he says. He's just saying stupid shit. So people like us will talk about him. That's the exact reason why he does it. I'm telling you, this guy's mega.
I will say this though. Like I said this to somebody in the group chat earlier. That's fine and dandy in the WWE because you know everybody's working a persona. The guy you're talking shit about is not a real person. Even though he's joking or just saying it for a rise or for the persona, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is not a persona. He is a real person. He is attacking the man, not the persona. So for me, it's unacceptable. Like even there's no reason for you should even be able to say it. Like why? Wonder Boy is not even the guy that's not the guy you talk shit about. There's nothing to talk shit about. He's a good likable dude. Like my wife's the reason he's her favorite fighter is literally he is the nicest guy. That is the way she explains him. He's the nicest guy. He's such a good guy. Like wow, like you try to take something good and demonize it for what point though, man? Like that was just such it was so unnecessary because they're never going to fight. It was just him trying to like you said, elicit a reaction from the crowd, and he got it. But there are so many other things you could say. That's to me, that's just one thing. Is like you don't fucking joke around about somebody being a pedophile. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Well,
the
I
Wonder
do
Boy
agree with
thing was a little bit weird. I will say that. That was a
well,
little bit odd.
I do agree with what you're saying. Um, but I will say this: you are wrong on very good
You better
odds.
fucking explain.
On very good odds, you are wrong. Meaning, if Wonder Boy beat Shavkat, he's Kobe's first title defense. I have no question about that. He's 40 years old. If he gets past Shavkat, if he somehow finishes him or beats him like fucking UD, like gets him on the UD, Wonder Boy gets his title shot to retire. He gets it. I really think he'll be able to pull to get it. I don't know. I know people say, "Oh, Dana doesn't do that. Dana doesn't do that. Dana doesn't do that." Dana's getting soft for these old timers, and if he can get past the 7-1 dog, Dana can sell it. Dana can sell it. The guy has been fighting forever. He's 40 years old. Dana can sell it. So I think there is a chance. I mean, I'm saying minus 10 or plus 10,000. Like, I'm not. What's the max odds on fucking DraftKings? Plus 20,000. Like, it is what it is. But if he gets past Shavkat, they could fight. They could
Hey,
have.
I got one thing to say. You know how people like are? Oh damn, my bad. I'm playing this game right now. I just got scored on. You know how everybody's talking about that thing about Kobe. You know how he was fucked up and everything. He could have been. He could have been worse and said. He could have been. He could have said a lot more worse things. It's like, I know Leon keeps saying headshot dead, headshot dead. I thought Kobe Covington was gonna say, "Didn't your dad get headshot dead in the nightclub?" I thought he was gonna say something like that. But thank God he didn't. But yeah. That's
It's a
right.
good
Honestly,
example, though, bro.
I think had Ian Gary not had to pull from this fight, which fuck, I mean, what a puss that I mean that I feel like he wants people to praise him, so he pulled out because he's in a situation with that. But anyways, to my point, I feel like had that fight still been on the card and had he been at the press conference, obviously him and Colby would have had some interactions, but I think between the two of them, it'd have been low blow after low blow after low blow. Each guy trying to outdo the other guy, saying something crummier and crummier as they go. I feel like them two would have just fed off each other's negative energy, talking shit. And I feel like there'd have been a lot of fucked up shit said had them both been there. And like I said, they probably went after each other. But how funny is the the 180 that the conversation between Covington and Ferguson when they went from fucking talking shit to each other to being best friends and Americans together. Like
It was
bring
my
up
favorite
Paul
moment,
Revere. How fucking funny is that?
bro. It was my favorite moment of the presser, if I'm being honest. Like, and not even because it was like American, just to watch the two of them. It was my favorite moment of the presser.
Both could talk a lot of shit. That's all I gotta say. Both fucking Tony Okukui and fucking Covington. They could talk a lot of shit, man.
That's because they're both fucking throwed.
So I can't listen. I'm not justifying what he said to Wonder Boy. I'm not. I'm just not gonna. I'm just not. That was wrong, right? But like Leon getting mad that he said your dad's in hell or whatever. Like I know it's shitty, but like, bro, you're literally like headshot dead. Like like you don't gotta say it that way. And we've heard. I don't know if any of you have heard, but Leon does not talk favorable of Kobe either. Even leading up to before, and he said why he didn't want to fight Kobe. Like he doesn't favor Kobe. He's not nice about Kobe either. So like it just looks bad the way it gets presented. Kobe's the one out there being all fucking loudmouth, and then at the big press conference he takes the dirty blow. But like both of these guys are fucking pricks to each other, to be clear. Like I'm not even defending Kobe to say it. I just like they're both fucking pricks to each other. I just want to get that out there.
All right, so we've been going for about 2.5 hours at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start winding this baby down.
That's
Uh,
it.
Andrew, what you got on the tap for us coming up this week?
Man, we got a space in a couple days. We have 3 weekly spaces. On Sundays, we have the Cash and Trash space with Rhino and Usman. 7 p.m. West Coast is the best coast, or 10 p.m. East Coast for you guys. It's basically just a recap of the fights, recap of the line movement, betting results for the previous card. They go in depth and they do a damn good job. Tuesdays is the on topic MMA space. Joe kicks that off. I also assist him with that. That one is also 7 p.m. West Coast is the best coast. 10 p.m. for you East Coasters. This is the rumor mill. We talk rumors, we talk fight announcements, we talk headlines. This is the one where we relax a little bit more. We talk a little bit more bullshit. And then, of course, tonight's Friday, bro. It's Fight Week Friday. Trace is on the main account right now. He is our guy. He runs this every week. 6 p.m. West Coast is the best coast, or 9 p.m. for the East Coasters.
I'm gonna help you out there, Andrew. East Coast, Beast Coast, baby.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Most of the time, unless we have an interview scheduled, open mics for most people, as long as you are very respectful, we are cool, man. Come shoot the shit. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're crazy. Do whatever. Just be respectful.
Dead.
I just wanted to plug the YouTube. Yeah, we're up on YouTube now, so check us out, CaptainMay.com or CaptainMay.com, Captain May, whatever. Just type it up on YouTube, and you should get live feed to all the streams. If you paid attention to what I was doing on this stream, you would see that I made a parlay that I'm gonna be playing. I would say it, but I don't want to give it because click the fucking video, go watch the stream.
Joe.
CapMMA.com. Best parlay builder. It's all free. Live UFC ranks, live PFL rankings, live Bellator rankings, live one rankings, UFC standings. All right there on the board. You don't have to leave. You just click it. It all pops up. It's live and live. Like whatever it tells you it is, that's what it is. You don't gotta go double check it. We got a couple parlay tools up there, a few resource link, and there's some more stuff coming. Check it out. Pay attention to the board. Once you click all the buttons and figure everything out, it's a real handy thing to do. I thank everybody for coming out. This was a real good space tonight, Trace.
Yep, I appreciate everybody coming out, especially the ones that stuck out to the end. Yeah, man, let's kill these books this weekend. Everybody, good luck, and yeah, we out. See y'all on the weekend, and see y'all on Tuesday space.
Wait. It's only a couple people in here, but man, if anybody wants in the group chats, just let us know, bro. We got a MMA group chat. We got a free for all group chat where you can talk about anything. Probably don't let no women in that chat, if I'm being honest. We got a football chat. It doesn't bang so much, but it's a football chat. We do a fantasy league once a year. We got an international fight week chat. If you go to fights, we got some of the people that go to 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 UFC events a year in that group. It doesn't really pop off till after the first of the year, but we got it going. They're good groups, man. If you need one to be in, hey Trace, let Connor grab a mic before we get out of here.
Close us out, Connor.
Real quick, I know it might be loud. I just want to say y'all are disgusting with the Covington propaganda. Leon by KO.
He said we're disgusting.
Fuck that. Colby knew and knew.
Disgusting.
Hey, I just want to say Connor's a staple around
Covington.
here lately. Connor's
MAGA lover, the fucking bitch.
Hey, Connor, I look for you every week, bro. I just want you to know you've been a staple lately. YB, everybody in here, but I just been noticing you don't miss any of them. Oh, and Daniel coming in here, bro. I love your takes, bro. Come back every Friday. There's always a mic for you.
All right, real quick, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And yeah, I agree with I forgot who said it, but yeah, I do hope after this fight that Wonder Boy does sue Covington for slander and defamation because I'm actually
you fucking Ian Gary fan, aren't you?
He trains in Florida, so yes, family man.
God
Cuck behavior, bro. Come on.
Okay.
On that note, boys, we out of here. Not everybody.